is no longer the case, having lost 9 of their last 10. Welcome to the Bronx. Dan Schulman, John Kruk, Kurt Schilling. Schill, if you're a Yankee fan, how worried should you be about this team?
Well, you're worried now because if I ask you, you got to win one game, who are you going to give the ball to? Most people would say Michael Pineda, and he's having a little rough spell. But if you got to win another one, who are you giving the ball to? They're struggling on the mound. Yep. All the ifs in spring training are not turning out well for them right now. Defensively, they have been atrocious. And you can hear it in Joe Girardi's voice. He's stunned by that, kind of shocked by that. They've gone through 2 long spells right now, and they need to get healthy, but they need to win while Jacoby Ellsbury's out of the lineup.
32 errors, the 3rd most in the American League, and a lot of miscues as well that haven't gone as errors but have cost the Yankees some runs as well. Meanwhile, Texas, they're on a real roll right now. They have won 4 in a row, and Prince Fielder is once again one of the most dangerous hitters in all of baseball. Moments ago, he spoke with our Buster Olney.
Prince, you guys are 13-8 since May 1. What's been key to the turnaround?
Well, I think we've just been playing better baseball. Our hitting's been better, our pitching's been better, and even here and there, whenever either one is lacking, the other one picks the other one up. So I think that's a big part of winning.
You spent a lifetime in baseball, and you had to miss most of 2014 because of an injury. What's it been like for you to come back after missing that much time, hitting .351 now?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, obviously having a little success and the team's doing better, which makes it better. A lot more better to be back, but just being back, playing the game I love as far as not having to play it last year and just back in the swing of things, back with the guys, just feels really good.
Prince, thanks.
Yeah.
Dan, back to you.
Buster, Prince, thank you. You like watching this guy hit?
I love watching this guy hit. At one point in his career when he was with Milwaukee and then with Detroit, one of the most violent swings you'll ever see in all baseball. It's kind of toned down a little bit. He's really figured out that, I'm big enough and strong enough. If I just meet it out front, it's going to go. He can hit it to all fields. And when you talk to Jeff Bannister, he said what he's doing this year is he's using the whole field. He's taking what the pitcher gives him. And what they're giving him is 7 of 8 home runs, of his 8 home runs are in this month. And don't be surprised if he goes deep again tonight.
Rangers about as dangerous an offensive team as there is in baseball right now. They've scored 25 runs in the first 2 games of this season. Memorial Day weekend, kind of the quarter pole of the Major League season, a time to take stock of how your team is doing. Texas also led by potential Hall of Famer, maybe, Adrian Beltre, as they'll take on the New York Yankees. Mark Teixeira having a big season, hitting the ball for power. The Yankees trying to salvage the final game of this series tonight. Presented by Taco Bell. Defect to the next generation of breakfast. Wake up, live Moss. And in part by Chevrolet. Find new roads. A big night here in the Bronx for Bernie Williams, who had his number retired tonight and threw out the first pitch. Spoke eloquently and humbly, to no one's surprise, before the game, and hoping to get a chance to visit with him a little bit later on tonight here in the booth. Jeff Bannister, the first-year manager of the Texas Rangers after 29 years in the Pirates organization as a player, minor league manager, minor league field coordinator, major league coach. And he's got the Rangers feeling pretty good about themselves right now. They've won 4 in a row and back within 3 games of the 500 mark. The Rangers lineup is presented by Taco Bell. Delino DeShields playing well, getting on base at almost a 400 clip, almost a 400 on base percentage. He's got speed. Chu's hot. Fielder's even hotter than that. And Adrian Beltre just having another very good year. I mean, we're going to talk about this tonight. This guy's got a chance to be a Hall of Famer.
Well, he sure does. And if you're watching this game tonight, you got to watch this man. The way he approaches the game, not only offensively but defensively, one of the best third basemen you will ever see play this game.
On the mound tonight for the Yankees as they continue to try to patch together a rotation because of some injuries is Chris Capuano, making his second start of the season for New York.
A veteran now, kid. I played with Chris in Arizona when he first came up as a young rookie. Not much different from a stuff perspective. Never was a power guy. Kind of a 3-4 pitch pitcher, cerebral guy, moves the ball around. Fastball command will be of monumental importance tonight from the get-go against this lineup.
Missed the first 6 weeks of the season, was on the DL with a quad strain, so just his second big league appearance of the year. And he will face a team that is scoring a ton of runs this month. Scored 10 on Friday night, scored 15 yesterday. The Yankees, having lost 9 of their last 10, are now a game back of Tampa Bay for top spot in the American League East. The Rays, though, they lost today to Oakland. So the Rangers trying to sweep, the Yankees trying to salvage the final game. Capuano ready. Delino DeShields is ready. Our home plate umpire tonight is Toby Basner, and we're underway in the Bronx. And if the name Delino DeShields sounds familiar, it should. His father, of the same name, a terrific player in his day. Second baseman, played for a number of teams, a lot for the Expos, played for the Dodgers as well. And a guy, although Dad Delino was a left-handed batter, this Delino started off as a second baseman. Now he's become an outfielder. Dad was a second baseman, but a really talented player.
Yeah, and I talked to him this afternoon. I said, where are you playing? Left, center, second? He goes, wherever I play. As long as I get 4 at bats, that's all I'm worried about. So he really doesn't care where he's playing defensively.
Ground ball to the right side, to his left. Jose Barrella will throw out the speedster. No, he won't. He is safe at first. And I wonder if we'll have a challenge right here nice and early. DeShields with blazing speed down the line.
Oh, wow. He was out.
Will there be a challenge? He was out.
Yeah, he was out by a lot.
And everybody's looking into the dugout, and now here comes Joe Girardi, and we'll have a challenge right away.
3 pitches into the game. Challenge.
That's Larry Vanover, the crew chief, who's the first base umpire. This might be a major league record for quickest challenge.
Well, it should be. Yeah, there should be no doubt.
Well, I mean earliest in a game.
Well, yeah, but there should be no doubt. They look at this replay once. They should have it.
Yeah. Pretty impressive that he made it this close.
Unbelievable. I could not believe watching him run how fast he was.
Yeah.
That was Kruk-like.
Yeah.
Just like his dad.
DeShields was hitting 9th, and Shin-Soo Choo was leading off, and then DeShields was doing so well that Jeff Anderson said, you know what, the heck with it. Why don't I move DeShields up to the leadoff spot, bat Choo second. And they have really been clicking ever since. The crowd just saw a replay on the Jumbotron, and you heard their reaction, and understandably so.
38,000 umpires. Nope.
I mean, this one should be, as you said, Crucky, this one should be over already.
Well, you would think. I don't know what.
The crowd reaction is based on the speed of the replay. The slower it gets, the louder they get. It shouldn't take this long, though. This is, I thought, this was one of those pace of game things.
I mean, that's the back of the glove.
We say it's by a mile here, but that's still bang bang at first base now.
And he's out. Let's watch him go down the line now.
Yeah, it didn't take long. That's for sure. That's moving. Because it wasn't like Pirela had the ball and held it.
Yep.
You know, he made a good, strong throw to first base.
But that's one of those things as a young player where you'll get hits in the future out of that because you will put pressure on defenses to do things they wouldn't otherwise do.
It tells the guys on the left side of the infield they better get rid of it quick.
Shin-Soo Choo batting second. And Pirela bobbles a routine ground ball, and the Yankees' defensive problems continue.
Well, as a pitcher, one of the things you can't be asked to do is to get 29 outs in a 27-out game. You know, errors happen, but these shouldn't. This is that's a routine play. I get that errors happen, but this shouldn't.
Yeah, it didn't take a bad hop at all, but you saw it. It hit his bare hand and not his glove, and that's why he didn't catch it.
And the problem is it manifests itself now in this matchup.
33rd error committed this season by the Yankees, third most in the American League. Only Texas and Oakland have committed more, and Joe Girardi said it's the most surprising aspect of the team this year, how poor the defense has been. Here's Prince Fielder. He is hot. In his last 12 games, he's got 6 homers, 16 RBIs, and is hitting almost 400.
That's pretty good, huh?
Not bad. And he's got 3 home runs in this series already.
This place fits him well at that short porch in right field, but
he can hit it out anywhere.
But I love what Bannister said. You know, Jeff Bannister said about, you know, they're shifting him, but he's taking what they're giving him, and that's why he's hitting over 350.
And Dan, he can't stay this hot, but I don't know if it's as hot as much as he is. I think he's back.
Just healthy, right?
Yeah, this is a special guy. This is, you know, we talked about this all day. You know, the number I think that gets overlooked nowadays, especially nowadays, is 162. Guys that play in 162 games a year because, correctly, 10 to 15 games a year, you're begging yourself back in the lineup to play every one. And he has always been a guy that got out there every single day. And he had so much fun playing.
No, the first pitch of this at bat to Prince Fielder. Watch Chris Capuano. I don't know if he hurt it. I know he's in probably the greatest shape of anyone in the history of baseball, but watch him right here. See how he's flexing his back?
Yeah.
And now he's jumping and trying to get loose. Because he was throwing during the review. I was watching him. He did throw during review, so it's not like he's not ready, but that could be something we could keep an eye on.
And Fielder lines one into right center field. All the way to the fence on a bounce. Choo digging for third. Choo getting the wave. The relay to the plate is up the line, and the run will score as Texas takes a 1-0 lead.
Wow. That's a whole new meaning to line drive right there.
Yeah, that's a line drive. It short hops the right center field fence at 385 feet. But this is what a healthy Prince Fielder provides. And when you look at that, I mean, that was, you know, I'm going to try to leave Earth right here, but you know, you look at that swing, the big uppercut, the recoil. Watch the recoil. Watch the recoil on his lower half, how it just comes back. I mean, that's just a powerful human being. And I tell you what, for Choo to score on that ball, he was moving around the bases too. But look at that lower half. And you talk about why a guy can hit a ball so far.
Here's Adrian Beltre, takes off-speed pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Looked like they might have had a chance on Choo, but it was Pirela, I believe, was the relay man out in right center, and his throw was a good 10-15 feet up the line, so he's had a tough first inning. Pirela getting a start out at second base for Stephen Drew tonight. Drew's been scuffling, so Joe Girardi gives him a day. 1-1 on Beltre.
Watch Choo get around these bases. This is, I mean, you looking right there. Pirela had the ball before he hit third base, and you would think, okay, they got a shot. But like you said, Danny, threw a tail ball up the third baseline. McCann tried to make a catch and swipe tag at the same time. But, you know, give Chris Capuano credit. A veteran pitcher doing his job backing up. keeping Prince Fielder at second base.
Which is huge because now you're one out, runner on third instead of second. But, you know, go back to the air, Crucky. That's the big thing for me.
Well, it makes Capuano pitch from the stretch, and I know as a left-handed hitter, I liked hitting better off lefties who were pitching from the stretch as opposed to from the windup.
Inside to Beltre, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Beltre with 400 home runs in his career and 1 RBI shy of 1,400 runs driven in.
Yeah, I think we should stop the potential Hall of Famer conversation. I think he is.
If only he could play a little defense.
Yeah, well, there it is. There's that.
4 Gold Gloves. Jeff Bannister said he's as much of a professional, as good a third baseman as he's ever been around.
He's a leader.
Yep.
You know, I didn't know what type of player he was, you know, playing for the Dodgers, and he, you know, the one big year he had in L.A., he was hurt with the foot injury, and then he ends up signing a big deal with Seattle. He didn't play well in Seattle. And I asked Terry Francona, I said, give me something on Beltre. What's he like? He said one of the greatest people he's ever met as far as in a clubhouse goes.
Spent a lot of time with the Little League team that's here tonight, the local team from the Bronx, as he takes down and in 3-2.
He's got a little combo for me in pitching in front of 2 good ones. Scott Rowland and Matt Williams. Everything Matt Williams glove touched, he caught. He never dropped the ball. And it seems like Adrian's the same way, and he's got a little bit of Rowland's athleticism, being able to go behind the bag and to his left, and having range at the position where a lot of guys don't.
Swing and a miss to get him, 2 down. Watching Rangers and Yankees? Reply using hashtag #RepMyTeam with a picture of how you're supporting your team, and your tweet could appear later on tonight here on the telecast. A run in the top of the first for the Rangers, an error and then a double. And now here's Mitch Moreland, the first baseman. And Moreland is another hot guy for the Rangers right now. In his last 7 games, hitting .379 with 3 doubles and 3 homers. Another guy who missed some time was activated off the DL about 10 days ago. Had a bone chip removed from his elbow, so he missed several weeks. When they're healthy, though, this team's still going to score runs. The issue often has been for Texas on the other side of things, the pitching. They've got so many pitching injuries, which we'll delve into over the course of the broadcast tonight. But they're doing pretty well, and they hope they're going to get healthier.
Yeah, and if they get the Josh Hamilton from his previous tenure with the Texas Rangers, then you know that offense just gets that much better.
That changes the whole fielder complexion in that part of the lineup.
And Hamilton expected to make his Rangers debut this time around tomorrow in Cleveland. 1-1 pitch sent to left field. Gardner still going back. Gardner makes the catch. Tough play on the track, and the inning is over. But the defense hurts the Yankees again. An error by second baseman Jose Pirela allows the Prince Fielder double to score a run. And through half an inning, the Rangers with an early 1-0 lead. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Joe Girardi's team's scuffling right now. They've lost 9 out of 10. Still just a game out of the American League East. That tells you more about the division than it does about the Yankees right now. The Yankee lineup is brought to you by Taco Bell. Brett Gardner now leading off. Jacoby Ellsbury is on the DL. Alex Rodriguez has 20 extra base hits in 40 games this year, and he is one shy of tying Lou Gehrig for third place on Major League Baseball's all-time RBI list. On the mound tonight for Texas, former Milwaukee Brewer Yovani Gallardo picked up in an offseason deal, a January trade between the Rangers and Brewers. Texas so depleted in starting pitching because of all the injuries that they've had. Holland, Harrison, Perez. Then, of course, later on, Yu Darvish suffered an elbow injury, needed Tommy John. He's out for the year. So they need some stability, some innings. And they went out in the wintertime and it got Gallardo. As the first pitch goes off the glove.
You rarely see that.
Yeah. Well,
Chirinos misses the ball and it's called a strike.
That ball was kind of mid-strike. So cut a little bit. I don't think he was expecting the cut.
Crossed him up on the first pitch of the game.
I think he
don't you all discuss this stuff before you go out there?
Well, it's definitely not the pitcher's fault.
Of course not.
Ground ball to short, and it goes under the glove of Elvis Andrus. Andrus may be rushing just a bit because of the speed of Gardner, and got to believe that that's going to be scored an error, and it is. Elvis Andrus committing his 10th error of the season, and as we said, we're about at the quarter pole right now.
And the thing is, he's his 10th error and he's missing balls, and yeah, that's what, like you said, the speed of Brett Gardner. But you know, that's the wrong way to go about catching a ball in the backhand. You're supposed to lead with your left leg as a right-handed fielder and reach across your left leg. He tried to do it the other way around, and it got through his legs.
So the error on Andrus, speed aboard in Gardner. And now here's Chase Headley hitting in the 2 spot because Carlos Beltran is out of the lineup tonight. He's suffering from the flu. So Headley moves up in the order to 2, hitting .235, 5 home runs.
And this is, you know, I think Joe Girardi just trying to find something, not only to get his offense going, but to get Chase Headley going also. And you know, this is a great thing. They shift against him. Gardner's on first. They can't shift right now.
And it's 3-0. Headley in the first year of a 4-year deal with the Yankees. He's pretty much the everyday third baseman. Alex Rodriguez, who's on deck, pretty much an everyday DH this year. Strike taken, 3-1.
Tell you, when I was struggling offensively, I'd love to get a 3-0 green light. You know, you're going to get a fastball. You know, it's going to be trying to throw it down the center of the plate, which he did. Gallardo did, but elevated a little bit. But that's a pitch you love.
Line into center field, a base hit. Gardner racing around second on his way to third. Throw on a bounce, and they got him. Leonis Martin throws out Gardner at third base.
And that's a struggling team. Brett Gardner, you know, the last thing you want to do is make the first or third out at third base, but what a throw by Martin. Look at it. Bullet he threw, and Gardner, even with that speed, couldn't get in there.
So 1 out at first now after the base hit is Headley, and here's Alex Rodriguez. .255, 10 home runs. A-Rod with 1,992 RBIs. Now, depending on where you might look, you'll see different RBI totals for some players from way back, because RBIs did not become an official stat until 1920. And Elias, which is the official statistician of baseball, that's where you look to find out about records. As A-Rod lines one to center, and that's a base hit. Headley up to second. So A-Rod with a 1992, currently tied with Babe Ruth for 4th all time. Although, again, if you look at Babe's numbers elsewhere, when they've gone back and looked at box scores and so forth, he's got a lot more. But this is the official list. A-Rod tied with Babe Ruth, 1 back of Lou Gehrig, 4 back of Barry Bonds, with Hank Aaron pretty much unreachable.
But I understand Elias, and they're the official statisticians of Major League Baseball, but how can you do that to Babe Ruth? He's got the RBIs. It was Major League Baseball games he was playing back then before they started keeping his official stat.
Well, I think the issue becomes the rules around the game. I mean, at that time, too, it took 5, 6, 7 balls for a walk. And, I mean, it wasn't the same game that you played after 1917, 1918, 1919. I don't know about the thing that jumps out at me there, if he's going to become the leading American League's all-time RBI leader soon. All-time. Like,
he's going to wind up second on the all-time list behind Hank Aaron.
And you're talking about a sport that's over a century old. That's pretty amazing.
Not according to the stats. It's only 95 years old.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Here's Mark Teixeira.
And wouldn't you think it'd be harder driving a run if you had 5 or 6 balls before you got to go to first base?
No,
you pitchers can pitch around everyone.
Well, no, but you get to see 14 pitches in
but
at bat.
But you get to see 4 or 5 pitches that they're trying to entice you to swing at a bad pitch. All right, Teixeira's up here with what should be the bases loaded. Dan, you want to take over? Or you want me to handle
No. Teixeira, 13 homers, second in the American League this year behind only Nelson Cruz. He's got 31 runs driven in already. The offense for the Yankees has basically come, for the most part, from 4 guys. Ellsbury until he went on the DL, Gardner, A-Rod, and Teixeira. There's a drop-off. Chris Young gave him some very good at-bats early on, has been scuffling lately. McCann has been better this year than he was in his first year as a Yankee, but still not the McCann from Atlanta. That is a fair ball, and Moreland will feed Gallardo covering for the second out. The runners advance.
So, a little interesting piece of gameplay right there. If you watch the catcher, he reaches over with his right hand and grabs the umpire's leg after he gives the sign. Right before that, he grabs him by the kneecap to let him know he's going to the inner half of the plate to allow the umpire to get himself set in a better position to make the call.
Is that a common thing?
For good catchers, it is, because they understand that relationship. And if you watch, I'm sure he'll do it again at some point tonight, but he'll reach over and grab him and let him know, hey, listen, I'm coming there. See him?
A strike to McCann.
And that's all fine and dandy, and Gallardo can pretty much locate. But if you're the Yankees, aren't you seeing that too?
Absolutely.
And you can signal to McCann.
But here's the problem. I always thought about it as a hitter. If you knew it was coming, if it didn't come, you were in trouble.
That happened.
When you're looking away and I'm trying to go away and I misfire in, and you're diving. But that, to me, that speaks to the makeup of the catcher. He's got the umpire involved in the game, and especially young umpires. You can buy a lot of wiggle room with them by helping them do their job better. See, what he's telling him is, listen, get into better position to call the inside corner of the plate because I'm coming that way. You got a young umpire, probably up nervous, Yankee Stadium. And they appreciate that. They like the fact that you're giving them help. Again, you're helping them to do their job better.
Do you want to see the umpire? I mean, even on that pitch away, he's really lined up over the inside shoulder, the right shoulder of Chirinos, more than it feels like most umpires.
Whatever, I want him to be in a position where he feels best making the call. And so a lot of times, the good umpires, they'll tell you, hey, listen, if you're going to this side, if you can give me a heads up, on the inside part of the plate, do that. I know a lot of veteran umpires used to do that. Or, hey, listen, if you're going to go to the outer half, give me a second, get set. And the catcher will say, listen, I sit up late, so be ready for me. Or I'll tap you on the knee if I'm going to come into lefties or into righties or whatever. And again, so they can put themselves in position.
A big base hit for McCann. A 2-out, 2-run single. Bobbled down in center by Martin, but McCann safely back into first. A big hit for the Yankee catcher as they take a 2-1 lead.
Brian McCann was out hitting early today. trying to figure out that swing, and that's a good start right there just to be able to hit the ball the other way. You know, they do play the big shift on him. You see Gallardo here trying to go up and away to McCann. Usually, you know, a spot that lefties don't like the ball high, but you see him get on top of that ball, making a conscious effort to hit that ball the other way. He tries to pull it. He probably pops it up or rolls over a grounder to second base. Instead, he stays on it, hits that line drive for 2 RBIs.
Well, I thought it was really interesting when we talked to Jeff Bannister before the game. We talked about his shifting. Your pitchers have to execute for the shift to work. He hit that ball right down the middle against the shift, and that was the pitcher's fault and the hitter's fault as much as anything.
So the Yankees take a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the first. The batter is Garrett Jones, getting a start in right field tonight. We mentioned Beltran's got the flu. Jones hit his first home run as a Yankee Friday night, a pinch hit home run, a 3-run shot. And then in yesterday's debacle, a 15-4 loss to Texas, Jones came in to pitch, hit a batter, and got 2 outs in the 9th inning. You never pitched in the big leagues, did you?
No.
Did you pitch in the minors?
I did.
Yeah? How'd that go?
I pitched in a game that ended up 35-28, I think, in El Paso, Texas.
Seriously? 35-28?
I didn't give up a run.
Wow.
Which was shocking.
Late touchdown.
I was looking at the scoreboard. I'm like, man, I might get a win. We're only 8 down.
What did you throw anything other than a fastball?
Knuckleball.
Nice.
That's all I had.
Yeah.
Not much gas. 60, 65. I think my knuckleball is actually thrown harder than my fastball.
2-2 to Jones. And it's outside, a full count.
Put it this way, I didn't have anyone from the Padre organization coming up and say, you know, I think we're going to make you a pitcher.
Right.
Or tuck that away for future reference. Every position player I ever played with the pitch in the game came to the park the next day with his arm in a sling or close to it.
You know what hurt me more? My hip.
Yeah.
My right hip from lifting my leg. Oh, hard.
It's hard to do.
Here comes the 25th pitch of the inning for Gallardo. Runner is going, and it's down and away, ball 4. Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, on his way out to the mound as we send it down to Buster.
And guys, I talked to Garrett Jones about pitching. He actually broke out a curveball in that outing yesterday. He said it was the first time that he'd thrown a curveball since he was 17 years old. And the funny thing was, he said as it was going along, he had a better feel for his curveball than his fastball.
No, didn't give up a run, didn't give up a hit. Mike Maddox out to see Gallardo. Gallardo in his last start threw 32 pitches in the first inning. Only gave up 1 run. He's thrown 25 in the first tonight. He's already given up 2. It was his last start against Boston. He doesn't throw as hard. This is not the same guy as 4 or 5 years ago with Milwaukee.
Well, in a sense, it is the same guy. In the sense, by that I mean this guy was always supposed to be ready to take that next step, ready to be that legit 1A guy, and I don't think he ever consistently took it. And now he's working with stuff that isn't as good as it was before, and he hasn't. I just don't think he's taken that final step he should have taken to be that ace. And it's frustrating because he's got a feel, but you see, you know, the pitch miscommand, the mislocation.
One of the more highly respected pitching coaches in the business, Mike Maddox, with a visit to the mound. Chris Young is the batter, but Gallardo's fallen to behind 2-0 on him. Young hitting .256 homers. As we mentioned, he was really hot early, but it's just 2 for his last 26 entering this game.
Yeah, when the weather started turning and getting warm, he got cold. It was pretty hot when it was freezing up here.
2-1. Young thought it was low. And he carried them for a while. At the beginning, was getting a lot of playing time.
You look at that the first 13 games when it was frigid up here. And then as soon as the weather turned, the swing went south.
Grounded foul.
I thought when he was with Arizona, I thought this was a guy that was going to just have superstar written all over him. Hit for average, hit for power, run, throw, the whole deal. And just offensively, he had a lot of things going on with his swing that got exploited by Major League pitching.
And a swing and a miss to get him in the inning. But the Yankees scored twice on a 2-out, 2-run single by their catcher, Brian McCann. 2-1 Yankees at the end of one. ESPN with Kurt Schilling, John Kruk, Buster Olney. I'm Dan Shulman. The Yankees lead the Rangers 2-1. An eventful first inning. Each team committed an error in the first inning. The Texas error committed by the guy at the plate right now, Elvis Andrus. And some concern in Texas about Andrus, who doesn't appear to be the player now that he was 3-4 years ago when he should be entering his prime. He still, and this is by his own admission, battles things like focus and attention to detail. You can see the numbers are not great offensively. We mentioned he's already committed 10 errors this year. And they signed him to a whopper of a contract as he shows bunt and takes a strike 1-1.
It's nice to hear you sign a guy to a big contract and he admits that, he has trouble focusing sometimes.
It's probably information you'd prefer to know before the offer, I'm guessing.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot of money right there. That's a lot of money in a lot of years. He is one hit away from career hit number 1,000, by the way. After Andrus, it'll be Leonis Martin and then Robinson Chirinos, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Rangers lineup. Off the end of the bat into center. Young is there.
There are certain things as a veteran pitcher I think you reach out to do to positively impact the guys playing behind you. You want them to give everything they can give, and most times they will and they do. But one of the things you can do is this right here. There's your guy. He made an error last inning. That's Chris Capuano coming up and saying, hey, you know what? It happens, dude. Just be ready for a ball. I used to try and turn around and talk to the and say, hey, next one's coming to you, turn 2 here or something, just to let them know. No one feels worse than they do, so I'm not gonna get upset about it. It's part of the game. And young pitchers, for me, that's one of the big things, understanding physical errors happen. And if you can't pitch around them, you can't pitch here.
Leonis Martin, a .218 hitter, center fielder. But it'll get a little more crowded tomorrow when Josh Hamilton rejoins the Rangers. So they've got Martin, they've got DeShields, who has certainly played his way into the conversation. They've got Chu, and they've got Hamilton.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised with the struggles with Leonis Martin this year offensively that Delino DeShields moves over to center and Josh Hamilton goes to left field and Chu goes to right.
But I think we can all say, and with some certainty, nobody has too much of anything. At some point, somewhere, you find a place for everybody.
Or do you put Josh Hamilton where he's most comfortable, and that's in center?
And a swing and a miss. Martin strikes out. 2 down. Well, of course, the Rangers are hoping to get the kind of production from Hamilton they got the first time around. He didn't do that as an Angel, had a lot of injuries as an Angel as well. But this is a guy who put up monster numbers with Texas, won an MVP, at times made the game look so easy. He has battled through so much on and off the field. What kind of production do you think we can expect from Hamilton?
You know, I really believe he's not going to be that player. He's not going to be that Texas Rangers player where he's winning MVPs and batting titles and the whole deal. But I think he's going to be more productive than he was in Los Angeles just because of the comfort factor and being back around, like he said, with the right people around him.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do offensively because I can't look at him swinging and understand bat speed if it's back or not. I know 2 things. I loved watching him when he was healthy.
There's a base hit for Chirinos. Gardner over to cut it off and hold him to a single.
Loved watching him when he was healthy. Guys that are that big and that athletic are just different animals, number one. And number 2, I wouldn't bet against them. When you have someone that physically gifted that has a chip on their shoulder, whether it's a self-imposed chip or not, they tend to do things that no one else expects them to do. Over everything else, though, I want him to come back. I want him to be healthy. I want him to get back and live his life and get on good footing because he can help people.
Runner at first, 2 down. And here's Adam Rosales getting a start at second base tonight. And a sweeping breaking ball misses inside, ball 1.
And you wonder if, you know, could he have played here tonight? But I think the smart move was what they're doing. Do it in Cleveland. Nothing against Cleveland. It's not the media market that is here in New York. Let him break in his first game back in a smaller town that there's not going to be as much media coverage there as normally would be.
Let's go down to Buster.
Adrian Beltre told me that he reached out to Josh Hamilton after the Rangers reacquired Hamilton, and Beltre's made very clear to him, look, don't try to do too much. You don't have to go back to being what you were in the past. But then Beltre was asked about what happens if he comes back and he was what he was in the past. And Beltre got a big old smile because he said, I know what Prince can do. I know what I can do. I know what Chu can do.
And if Hamilton can contribute, it'll make an offense that's been really good lately even better.
I mean, you think about that lineup. DeShields keeps doing what he's doing, leading off with Chu, then Fielder, Beltre, then Josh.
Well, if I'm a right-handed pitcher, I can pitch to this lineup thinking, okay, let me get around Prince, and I'll deal with Beltre however I need to deal with them. You put Josh Hamilton in the mix, and that changes who you can and can't get, who you can and can't go after early in the game.
Figure he's the 5 hitter behind Beltre, so they go Prince, then Beltre, then Hamilton? Or?
Yeah, I don't think you can take Prince out of that comfort zone.
Well, they're all in a comfort zone right now. In April, they didn't hit much at all. The Rangers hit only .210 as a team, just over 3.5 runs per game, but they lead the majors in runs per game in May. Look at that, 32 home runs already in the month of May.
It's starting to heat up, and they play in a ballpark that's very conducive to home runs.
Yeah, and we're kind of leaving out Mitch Moreland, who, like you said, is coming back from an injury, but he's hitting over 300 too, and he has the ability to hit 20-25 home runs. The lineup will lengthen if Josh Hamilton comes back and performs.
And I'm not sure how they do that. In the sense that maybe you go DeShields, Chu, then Fielder, Hamilton, Beltre, or some semblance of that, because I don't know that Prince really cares where he hits. I'm not sure, but that guy, some guys are really adamant about it.
Fly ball to left field and deep. Gardner back at the wall, off the top of the wall and gone. Adam Rosales with a 2-run homer. And the Rangers are back on top, and Joe Girardi's going to the phone already.
Video, I'll bet.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably not bullpen. Probably wondering if maybe a fan interfered. Oh. Into the hat. Off the hat.
I think he whiffed it, didn't he?
Yeah. Grazing the hat, but that hat appeared to be above the wall, not reaching out into the field of play. That you can see it's a little behind Gardner's glove. So Texas has the lead back. Here he goes. And DeShields is safe. A bunt single.
Good Lord, he can run.
Wow.
I mean, that's just...
Well, that is one of those things that makes a guy a .330, a batting champion. He doesn't have to make solid contact to get on base. But you know what, Crookie? He bunts. He recognizes speed as a weapon, and unlike a lot, he's not up there swinging for the fences. He's trying to get on.
You remember those Expos teams? Those guys bunted. Those guys who could run to Lionel DeShields and bunt. Good bunt.
You know, the crazy thing, he's a Rule 5 pickup from Houston. So he's a guy they've got to keep on the roster. They offer him back for $25,000. It cost him $50 to get him. I mean, a former first-round pick. Yeah, it's working out pretty well. There's a base hit into right field for Chu. And DeShields around to third. Well, Friday night, Texas scored 7 runs in the third inning. Yesterday, they scored 10 runs in the third inning. They've got 1 in the first, 2 in the second here, 3-2 lead, and they have been relentless. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, is out to the mound. There is no activity in the Yankee pen.
Don't you love the way Adam Rosales runs around the bases after he hits a homer?
Well, I like
bore.
Well, but that, you know, you and I both saw Scott Rowland do it his entire. I never saw Matt Williams same way. There's something to be said, and I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but playing the game the right way. You can jog and walk and do whatever you want to do, but I always liked and respected guys that hit the ball and ran around the bases.
Yeah, now Capuano has some big issues dealing with here.
2 men on, 2 out, and here's Prince Fielder at an RBI double, a rocket to the fence into right center his first time up. Off speed, down and away, ball 1. As Schill mentioned, Capuano not a hard thrower at all, a finesse left-hander, and facing a great hitter who is hot. One and one.
Crookie, I think this is a spot where Jeff Bannister was telling us Prince takes what he gets.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see them stay away. If he can go the other way comfortably, I think he's got a shot.
Well, you saw that pitch there. It was down and away, and Prince took a shot. It kind of looked like he might have been guessing a little, trying to hit one in the seats in right field. Now he might give himself up and try to hit one the other way.
1 and 2.
Now watch the catcher here looking down at third base as he gives the sign. He's watching the runner at third, making sure that he's not giving it to the runner, and that the runner is not giving the sign to the hitter or talking right there.
Fights off the fastball. Tony Beasley, the third base coach, grateful to get out of the way of that one.
That's scary down there. I hated coaching bases.
Texas with 2 runs in, 2 men on with 2 outs, and Fielder at the plate. So Capuano with a big strikeout to end the inning. But not before Texas reclaims the lead. Adam Rosales, the number 9 hitter, with a 2-run homer, just enough here at Yankee Stadium to get it out in left field and give Texas the lead. Major League Baseball feature a local Little League program as part of our Sunday night coverage. Tonight, we welcome the Van Nest Little League from the Bronx. Founded in 1955, 22 teams in the league. And boy, did they have fun. C.C. Sabathia, Alex Rodriguez, Adrian Beltre. Good job by all the Prince Fielder. Good job by the big leaguers to go over and give some time back to the Little Leaguers. And some of whom had some interesting questions. We heard a C.C. interview on Baseball Tonight a little bit earlier tonight. And they get to hang around and watch the game, too.
Did one of them ask, how can I be 6'7", 300 pounds?
Well, they had the Kirk-John height off. Kirk-John height.
Right through the wickets on Moreland. Man, oh man, Gregorius hustling out of the box into second on a ball that went right through the legs of Mitch Moreland.
There must be something about this Yankee infield. This is...
Well, and you're not making a joke either. You're serious. I mean, there is.
But
yeah,
they're not.
Right.
They're not bad hops. All they are is guys not staying down on balls. I mean, this ball's hit right at him. He even gets down on a knee and it still goes through the 5-hole. You're always taught as a what we teach kids. Glove on the ground. It's easier to go up with your glove than to go down with your glove. And Mitch Moreland had his glove off the ground and it went underneath it.
So 3 errors already committed in the game. 2 by Texas, 1 by the Yankees. And the leadoff man at second, the batter is Perella. Shows bunt, pops the bunt up, but beyond the reach of Beltre. It has not been the best executed game so far.
Well, you said 3 errors, and those are 3 scoreboard errors, but you're looking at a guy getting thrown out for the first out at third base, which is a mental error.
Yep.
So, and that's what Joe was talking about. It's not just errors. It's errors on top of mental things that aren't on the scoreboard.
Texas second in the league in errors. The Yankees third. Only Oakland's got more.
And you saw Chu even booted the ball around out in right field after it went past Moreland.
Martin bobbled the ball in center when McCann got aboard, but it didn't cost him anything. Been a tough night defensively.
Apparently everyone's wearing their gold glove.
So Perella, he's committed an error. Getting a start at second for Drew tonight. The Yankees getting very little offense from second base and shortstop, and they won't get any here from Perella. That's the first out. Well, we've got some Memorial Day action for you tomorrow. A doubleheader beginning right here in the Bronx will bring you the Royals who were actually amazingly lost a game today. They've been playing so well, but they were beaten by St. Louis today. They will take on the Yankees tomorrow afternoon, 1 Eastern here on ESPN. And then the second game of the doubleheader, Miguel Cabrera and the Detroit Tigers taking on Oakland. You can see him tomorrow on ESPN and watch ESPN. Michael Wacha, by the way, picked up the win today in that St. Louis-Kansas City game. Wacha is now 7-0 with an ERA of 1.87. He is back.
You think?
After that unusual shoulder injury that he suffered last year, he looks like he is all the way back. And without Adam Wainwright, it looks like they might have a candidate to step in there as the staff ace. Here's Gardner, reached on an error, thrown out at third after the single by Headley.
One of the beautiful things about catchers getting involved in games, you watch this. This is a young umpire. Watch him hold the glove. He holds the glove, gets the call there on a pitch that I think was a good pitch, good strike. Now watch this. Same thing. Little off the corner, holds the glove, presents it as a strike to the umpire, and gets called strike three on a ball that was off the corner a little bit. That's an art.
Is that a fine line, though? If a catcher holds it for too long, then
they know, right? They know when, and there are guys that will take advantage of younger umpires to gain that trust and confidence. Hey, if I'm holding it there, just like that, he's helping him along.
You watch how he caught that too. The heel of his glove was in the strike zone. The web was out. He catches it in the web.
Yep.
But it gives the illusion to the umpire that it's in the strike zone.
And that is an art. That is something you have to work on.
Bob Boone was one of the best. He was unbelievable doing that. Ted Simmons also.
He's given him what I like is he's given him a chance to look at the pitch. And so if he misses, he can let him, hey, I thought that was a pretty good pitch, but he'll do all of his talking facing the mound when he's talking to the umpire.
Gardner with a bouncer to first. Moreland makes sure of this one. Makes the play on assisted 2 down as Gregorius comes to third.
I mean, you kind of hold your breath every ground ball, don't you? Gallardo should be out of the inning and back in the dugout. Instead, he's having to face another hitter and having to throw more pitches in this inning.
He'll face Headley. Singleton scored in the first. 3-2 Texas. The Yankees batting in the bottom of the second. Hey, Chirinos came to play. He hasn't been affected by all the defensive problems tonight.
Well, that's the sign of a good catcher for me. Was never the at bats or how they hit. It was how they involved themselves in the back behind the plate. And good ones can do both. They can separate them. Darren Dalton was outstanding at that. Made a point of it. I was blessed with some good Veritek, Damian Miller, guys that took a lot of pride in calling games.
Who'd you have in Houston?
Craig Biggio initially.
Biggio, yeah.
Did you scare him right out to second base?
I don't think that was his position. I mean, he was a college guy, but I felt like
it was the blonde, spiky Bosworth-looking hair that he had.
Yeah, that scared a lot of people.
You should have seen that.
Yeah, I thought it was a good look. I look back now, realize it wasn't, but listen, I saw the mullet in '92, '93. You looked like the lead singer for Whitesnake for like 3 years.
I had someone that said if I cut it, they'd kill me. Dave Ho.
Headley grounds out and the inning is over. Through 2 in the Bronx in Texas with a 3-2 lead. We'll see Adrian Beltre leading off for the Rangers when we come back. Top of the third for Texas. The Rangers up 3-2 on the Yankees. Beltre struck out his first time up. It's a strike on the inside corner of the knees from Chris Capuano. Beltre now 36 years of age. We mentioned some of his career numbers earlier as he swings and misses 0-2. Pretty rare company. One of just two infielders. Mike Schmidt is the other with 400 or more home runs and 4 or more Gold Gloves.
Both very athletic third basemen.
Yeah. Our buddy and our colleague Chris Singleton was speaking, came into the booth before, told me he was speaking with Beltre down on the field and said, you know, you kind of got Hall of Fame credentials. And he said that Beltre said, nah, I don't even think of myself in that way. But other people are really starting to take a look at it.
I don't think he's a lock at this point. He's still got years to go.
Well, that's what makes you like him, because there's some guys that are Hall of Fame, put up Hall of Fame numbers while they're still playing, and they think they belong in the Hall of Fame then.
Yeah, he's special.
Ground ball backs up Gregorius. He almost slips, but finds his footing and makes the play. 1 down. And defensively, of course, Beltre's been about as good as it gets at the hot corner.
So athletic, and look at the way he fields bunts and swinging bunts. But here's what I love about him when you watch him throw. Flat-footed. He doesn't stride when he throws. Well, this one he has to because he's falling away from first base, but still a nice strong throw. Easy short hop for the first baseman, Mitch Moreland. But you watch him catch a routine grounder. When he starts to throw, he's flat-footed, and he throws an absolute seed to first base.
And there's a little Cal Ripken. He beats the guy by a step. But the thing that makes him special for me, and Scott Rowland was the only third baseman I ever heard this said about, he has range at a position where nobody else does. Because the ball gets on you so fast at first and third base, Johnny. Yeah, but he covers laterally a lot more range than most. He looks like he can play shortstop.
Probably could.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Buster for more.
And, Shell, I think that's the first smart thing you've said this year, that Adrian Beltre is a complete lock. One thing to remember, he made his Major League debut at 19 years and 78 days. He's just 36 years old, and he's only 351 hits away from 3,000. He's got a real shot at that number, but I think even if he didn't play another day, he'd be a Hall of Famer, Shell.
Well, thanks, Buster. Oh, for the days of good sports writers. But
here's a liner into left center. Young has it just shy of the track, but Moreland into second with a double. His 7th extra base hit in his last 8 games, and that's now an 8-game hitting streak for Moreland. Boy, if he can stay healthy and he hits, as you said, Crucky, that really lengthens the lineup.
Makes that lineup deep, and you can kind of hope and live with Elvis Andrus hitting down in the order. Hope he gets something going offensively if all these other guys are playing well.
Here's Andrus. One of the things Jeff Bannister really likes about 2 of his veteran players, Fielder and Beltre, they love to play, and they're good leaders. I mean, they're into the game.
For Mitch Moreland to get down.
just don't touch his head.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
But they showed the thing on Baseball Tonight where he was getting a haircut. I mean, he gets haircuts.
Yeah.
Don't they have to touch his head?
Yeah, but I think he pays for that to happen.
He just doesn't like teammates doing it after he hits a home
surprise.
Run. No. Inside at the knees, 2-0 to Andrus. Hit a fly ball to center his first time up.
I tell you, the crowd's into it. Holy, this place is.
Yeah.
I guess they're cheered out from the Bernie Williams number retirement ceremony.
It's a big crowd here. A lot of them came for the Bernie Williams ceremony. Had his number retired before the game. But it is a quiet crowd right now, and it is a disgruntled Yankee crowd at times. They've lost 9 out of 10.
They're not used to that, are they?
I think this crowd emotionally is culmination the last couple nights. I mean, you're an hour in and you're in the top of the third. Given leads going back and forth and not playing solid defense.
Well, they got Kansas City coming to town tomorrow. You bobble the ball against Kansas City, you got problems. They're going to have to tighten up the defense. They're not getting a lot of length out of their starting pitchers. Pineda struggled on Friday. Did go 6 innings, gave up 7 runs, only 4 of them earned. The defensive problem. CC Sabathia didn't get out of the third yesterday. And it hasn't been easy for Capuano tonight.
Well, when you have pitching questions and you have to get 31, 32, 33 outs instead of 27, that becomes a major issue.
And the bullpen is now active. Chasen Shreve is up in the pen. One of 4 lefties the Yankees have in their bullpen right now. Three-two. What a stop by Capuano. Looks at third and then gets the out at first. That's a big time play.
What if the Rangers need a goalie? He could go over there. That was incredible. You don't see many pitchers on a comeback or dive for balls and catch them. This is a legitimate dive for a ball. That's by you in a second.
Oh no, barehand.
Yeah, right.
I'm right-handed. I barehand that ball, and then drop it and come out of the game with a broken blood vessel. Big out. But that, you know, when we talk about that too, that's the second out. Getting that leadoff hitter changes the complexion of every inning. Getting that one out before that runner gets into scoring position.
So runner at third, 2 down, a 3-2 lead for Texas here in the top of the third, and the batter is Leonis Martin, who struck out in his first at bat. And a swing and a miss, 0-1. Moreland, the runner at third. The runner at third, 2 down, and a ground ball foul, just foul up the first base line. So it's an 0-2 count now on Leonis Martin. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there, but we understand we are back now and looking into the problem. 3-2, Texas leads the Yankees, top of the third.
I think Crucky unplugged something.
Really the only time I get to do anything on this show.
I offer you the chance to read every promo and billboard we have, and you keep
yeah, but you know, I've been looking at those, Dan. They look really complicated this year. A lot of tough words.
Yeah. Capuano the set, way out in front, 0-2 on Martin. A high fly ball to shallow center, and the inning is over. The Rangers leave a runner on at third. We'll go to the bottom of the third. A-Rod and Teixeira leading it off for the Yankees. baseball on ESPN. The Rangers lead the Yankees 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. On the night Bernie Williams had his number retired by the Yankees, number 51. No Yankee will wear that again. A plaque out in Monument Park for Bernie Williams, who was kind enough to join us here in the booth. He is everywhere tonight. He's on the bases. His number is on the field. He's here in the booth. He made a speech before the game. Uniforms, patches. Congratulations.
The baseballs.
And what's the baseball got? Oh, wow. The baseball's got it. Huh?
Amazing.
They let you keep one?
Yeah. I want to keep a few.
How about the ring? That was nice, wasn't it?
Incredible.
I saw your kids pass around. They were like,
yeah.
Who's getting this?
Who's getting that one?
Congratulations. That must have been a pretty special night, pretty special ceremony for you.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Just to have all my teammates there, to have my family there, to have a lot of friends in the stands. I think I had like 200 guests.
There's a nice Puerto Rican contingent, too, holding up the Puerto Rican flag.
That's right. Yeah, they were representing out there, and I was very glad to see all of them, just experience all the love and admiration, and not only for me, but my teammates down there. All these great teams that we played for in the 90s and the early 2000s.
You could have had this ceremony a long time ago if you were decided to retire.
I wanted to make sure.
You didn't sound sure even in the speech today.
That's right.
Like you're going to make a comeback. Well, here's the ceremony. You see Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, Andy Pettitte, Tino Martinez, Paul O'Neill, David Cone, Joe Torre, and number 51. Joining other Yankee greats, it'll never be worn again. And a plaque talking about your accomplishments: a batting title, 8 300 seasons, 4 Gold Gloves, 5-time All-Star, and most importantly, 4 World Series championships.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I have no complaints about my career. I had the greatest time having the opportunity of being a Yankee and playing against you guys, and it was just some of the best years of my life, and I have great memories about it.
Well, I listen, first of all, well deserved. You didn't just get your uniform retired, you did it with the New York Yankees, which is one of the greatest organizations in history. I always thought you played the game right. You played the game with class and dignity and style. I'm curious, you played here your whole career. One Yankee Stadium memory that stands out above any others?
Well, there's too many of them. I will have to say probably maybe the games that we started playing after 9/11. To have at the time President Bush throwing out the first pitch, it was just quite a sight to see.
Yeah.
We knew that every inch of this place was had snipers and all kinds of armed police officers and armed forces. And just to be part of that healing process of the nation, at such a trying time, it felt like we were playing for something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, the World Series definitely felt that way.
Absolutely.
He has to bring that up, doesn't he?
I know.
Oh, he won like 30 of them, so I mean, you can give me one.
But it's the ones that you don't that's going to sort of stick out a little bit more.
3-2 the count on to Mark Teixeira. One down here in the bottom of the third. A 3-2 lead for the Rangers over the Yankees. Bernie Williams, who had his number retired tonight, joining us in the booth as Teixeira hits a little soft liner that's caught by Rosales for the second out. Well, Bernie, let's show you 2 big moments you had on the field. This is one Joe Girardi talked about before the game. A walk-off off Randy Myers against the Orioles in '96. You were the MVP of the ALCS. And then in 1999, a walk-off home run in the 1999 ALCS. Yeah, that's a lot of emotion for Bernie Williams there, right?
That was a lot of emotion. Yeah. It was a hard game to play, and I was so glad that we came on top of that one.
When you signed your professional contract with the Yankees, when you first got to the big leagues, what kind of a career did you think you might have? What were you hoping for?
Well, that is the thing. I think as a player coming up in the big leagues, you just want to kind of have an opportunity to stay. You're trying to figure out ways that you can stay around for as long as you can. And there's not really a set plan. I mean, having no expectations as a young player, as a 22-year-old coming into the big leagues, you kind of get overwhelmed with all the distractions and everything that comes with being a Major League Baseball player.
There's no distractions in New York, though.
No.
Just laid back, small little town.
No media.
Yeah, no, yeah. There's a lot going on here.
And later on this season, Posada and Pettitte are going to have their numbers retired, right?
very happy for them and my old teammates. We went through so many great things together, and I think a lot of the success of the team at that time was the fact that they kept a group of players together through all those times, and they spent the money to keep them on the team, and I think it was great.
Rosales out in shallow right will retire McCann. Bernie, congratulations. Well deserved.
Thanks
for joining
so much.
us. Pleasure.
Such a pleasure.
Congratulations. Bernie Williams, number 51. Three to 2, Dan Schulman, John Kruk, Buster Olney, and Kurt Schilling going to give us a little pitching demo here.
So when I was a young pitcher, I went out to the bullpen one day by myself, put stakes in the mound, and actually literally took yellow rope and drew and created what I called my pitching lane. And as I visualized as a pitcher, all of my energy, all of my focus staying in that pitching lane, making sure everything went down that way. And then you look at home plate. You got 24-inch rubber at a 17-inch plate. This is the no-go zone for anything, any fastball. So as a guy that throws 88, like you're looking at Chris Capuano, here's your outside and there's your inside corners. And what you do is at 88, you can work in this area, you can't stay out of here, and you can work in this area. Now, the outside of this is 95 plus. You look at the amount of room you have to work at 95 and the amount of room you have to work at 88, and that's when you begin to understand how lethal velocity can be, how much more room and space you have to A, work, and B, make mistakes in.
You like drawing on that thing, don't you?
I do.
He does, yeah. Here's Chirinos leading off the fourth against Capuano.
Have I ever used that thing?
No, you're not allowed to use that thing.
Okay.
Is he allowed to use it? Oh, you're allowed to use it.
The stuff you did in Cabrera last week was, if you would have drawn on it, would have been.
Yes.
I thought it was really good.
Well, we'll have to move it in front of you, Kruk. Let you play with the toys a little bit.
I can draw for you.
Yeah, by the time I tell you to, by the time you do it, it'll be
lag.
I'll be talking about something else, or else I'll forget.
Yeah, I can see that.
See,
3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Rangers. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Yankees as Texas bats here in the top of the fourth. And a foul tip into the mid, strike 3, and Chirino strikes out.
Now, in talking about that, guys, one of the things that's manifests itself for a guy like Chris Capuano, when you watch the outs and watch the hits, he teases the corners of the strike zone, but he's right on the edges of the strike zone. And that's because he's throwing the ball 88 and he's 89. Now, when he gives up hits, look where the ball's at, that middle area of the plate. And when you're throwing 88 miles an hour, the middle of the plate and balls crossing over there, fastball or breaking ball is a no-no. That's why when you look at scouts and young kids, velocity is such a big thing, because the more you have, the more room for error you have. And I would imagine it translates to bat speed too, Johnny. The more bat speed you have, the longer you can wait on going after a pitch.
Adam Rosales, the batter, hit a 2-run home run his first time up. Hit it right off the top of the wall in left field. A fan actually grazed the ball trying to catch it in his cap. And it touched his cap at the top of the wall and then bounced up into the seats for a 2-run homer. As Capuano makes this start, the Yankees are hoping that Masahiro Tanaka is getting closer. He's scheduled to make another rehab start this week. I believe it's Wednesday. And up into the 60 to 65 pitch range the Yankees are hoping for. There's a chopper to third. It's a fair ball, and Rosales is thrown out 2 down. If all goes well for Tanaka in that game, the next start would be 80 to 85 pitches. And Joe Girardi said before the game, Crucky, they would at least have a conversation about whether or not that start should happen in the big leagues.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's going to depend on how well the big league team plays up to that point. And there he is thrown in the outfield this afternoon and in the bullpen, but they desperately need starting pitching. They desperately need Masahiro Tanaka to come back as the guy who started the season with them, and hopefully a healthy one that can finish the season without any more injuries or having to go on the disabled list and miss starts.
Hoping to get Ivan Nova back at some point during the season as well, coming back from Tommy John surgery. That's more likely a July thing.
The thing is, with this division, and Kurt, normally in the American League East, you lose 9 out of 10. You probably lost 5 or 6 games in the standings, but that's not the case here, really, in this division.
Yeah,
it's not great.
I think it's hard to go either way. I think it's hard to take yourself out of the race and hard to take on either side.
Well, the Rays lost today. They're the leaders. They're a game up on the Yankees. They're 2.5 up on Boston after Boston won today. Baltimore lost. The Orioles are 3 out. The Blue Jays won. They're 4.5 out. So top to bottom, separated by 4.5 games. You certainly don't get the feeling like you do, say, in the Central, where you've got Kansas City and Detroit. You don't get the feeling you've got teams like that in this division.
Well, the one that jumps out at me is Tampa. With the amount of injuries they've had from a pitching perspective, to be where they are, if they get some guys back, that could be kind of a scary situation.
The 1-2 to DeShields bounces in.
I think they are going to get Matt Moore back at some point. Correct?
Yes. Tough news for Cobb, though.
Yeah, well, that's devastating. But, it's just amazing that they just plug guys in and they just do what they're supposed to do.
That's what happens when you put together, I think, a strong player development system.
Sent down the right field line. A foul ball. Buster's got more.
Yeah, and the Rays are expecting at some point this summer that perhaps Drew Smiley could come back. He's deferred shoulder surgery. And I think one team to really keep an eye on is Boston, because they are absolutely loaded with resources in terms of available dollars, prospects to trade in a way I don't think other teams in the division are. If I had a mulligan on my preseason pick, which was the Orioles, I would take the Red Sox, because they do have the ability to make fixes as the summer goes along.
That's the first smart thing I think Buster said all year.
All right, you guys are even now. Truce. I'm going to put you both in timeout. 2-2 the count on Delino DeShields. He has grounded out and had a bunt single. There's a fly ball to center. Young back. Inning over. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Rangers. We're here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The Yankees coming up trailing 3-2. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Very famous bar around the ballpark. Stands just outside the ballpark here in the Bronx. The Yankees coming up in the bottom of the fourth, trailing the Texas Rangers 3-2. Between innings, Buster Olney with Texas manager Jeff Bannister.
Jeff, Prince Fielder with an RBI double in his first plate appearance. He's red hot. What's he been doing well lately?
Well, he's been patient but aggressive, swinging at pitches in his zone, not getting too big with the swing. He's taking what they give him. If they want to pitch him away, he swings and hits it away. If they want to come in on him, he's turning on the ball well.
We see Beltre, Fielder, very active in your dugout, talking with other players. How have they been for you as a first-year manager?
Best leadership, too, that I can ask for. These two guys are into the game. They want to win. They also want to leave their own legacy on these players that they're with. It's every day. They showed it in spring training. It's been exceptional the whole way through.
Jeff, thanks.
Thank you.
Jeff Bannister, first year as manager of the Texas Rangers. We mentioned earlier in the show a 29-year career in professional baseball, all of them with the Pittsburgh Pirates as a player, minor league manager, minor league field coordinator. For the last 4 years, the bench coach for Clint Hurdle with the Pirates as Garrett Jones muscles one into left for a base hit. Jeff Bannister holds one interesting distinction. You can't have a better lifetime batting average than Jeff Bannister has. He had one major league at bat, came in 1991 as a member of the Pirates, and he got himself a base hit. So he goes down with a career 1991. He goes down with a career 1,000 batting average.
Well, I had to play against him, didn't we? Did he get that hit off you?
He got a hit off Dan Petrie, July 23rd, 1991, at Three Rivers. He was pinch hitting for Doug Drabek. Here's Chris Young. And that's out of play off to the right. The people in the Pittsburgh organization speak about Bannister with tremendous respect. And in fact, into the winter, even long after he had become the manager of the Rangers, he was still listed on the Pirates website, but with a Texas hat on, as they talked about the new job that he had got.
Played against him coming up in Harrisburg. He was in Double-A with the Pirate organization, and the reverence with which they hold him it's legit. And when you meet him and understand some of the stuff he's been through,
there should be two, and it is. Yeah, when you say the things that he's been through, he's beaten bone cancer.
Yep.
He also suffered temporary paralysis from the neck down after being involved in a collision in a junior
catastrophic collision at home plate. A good player, but there were a couple guys in the minor leagues you ran into that you said future manager. He was definitely one of them.
And it certainly appears there's buy-in on the part of the Rangers. I think you'd have to say they're taking some people by surprise. I don't think people looked at this team before the year and thought they would be playing as well as they are right now. When you take Darvish, Harrison, Holland, and Perez, potentially 4/5 of their starting rotation off the team for long stretches of time, in some cases for the entire season, it's hard to imagine them really mounting.
But did you have them as a favorite? When those guys were healthy, no one had them as a favorite.
Here's another ground ball. Charged by Rosales, and the inning is over. We'll see some guys who can swing the bat when Texas comes up in the fifth. Chu, Fielder, Beltre. 3-2 Texas, end of 4 in the Bronx. Shin-Soo Choo, 1 for 2, leads it off against Chris Capuano. A little bit high, 2-0 on Choo. Reached on an air and scored in the first, had a base hit in the second. He'll be followed by Prince Fielder and then Adrian Beltre, the heart of the Rangers lineup. Right at the top end of the strike zone, 2-1.
You see the shift they have on Shin-Soo Choo. Interesting. He pulls on the ground, and when he hits the ball in the air, the majority of the time he hits it the other way. You see Chris Young's favoring the left field side of second base.
He makes another mistake up on that fastball, and it's going to be a problem. He's throwing him 3. All 3 balls, he got 1 strike out of him, but all 3 of those balls, this guy, if he goes after, is going to crush one if he keeps it close to him.
Breaking ball in for a strike, 2-2. In the 10-run third inning yesterday that the Rangers had, Choo had a base hit in his first at bat and then homered in his second at bat, all in the same inning. Another nice play by Capuano for out number 1.
Well, Prince Fielder first at bat, we saw the ringing double, and that's just a fastball center. Luckily, he kept it in the ballpark here, Chris Capuano, and then Capuano decided, you know what, I got to go off speed with Prince Fielder. Yeah, I know Adrian Beltre's hitting behind him. He's got protection, but I can't throw fastballs anymore to Prince, and he basically went off speed with him and got him.
And he starts him off speed.
Proving once again you don't get great hitters out in the strike zone.
No.
You can't.
Well, and you know, this whole misnomer that Tom Glavine finally figured out, that you don't throw lefties changeups. You have to.
Yep. Especially if you throw 88, 89.
Show me. Breaking ball, strike 1, a show me fastball, just to let Prince know he still has one. Now he could go change up or breaking ball again, but he better not hang it. He got a breaking ball up to Choo that Choo didn't swing at.
Change up down below.
That's a good one.
That's a tough pitch, and you
tough.
don't see a lot of lefties. It's like the front door slider Maddox threw from the right side.
But you know,
you don't see guys doing
that pitch right there, when you think about someone pitching you in, you think they have to pitch you in hard.
Yep.
When you see a pitch coming towards you and it's in, you think it's got to be a fastball,
Same
and then
thing.
it falls off the table and you're out in front of it.
Shook the changeup. McCann wants to go back to the changeup.
I don't blame him.
No, this is sometimes as a pitcher though you outsmart yourself. Fastball away.
Better get
Needs
it there.
to be off the plate.
Outside, 2-2.
That's a great pitch though, because now you can do some things off of that. You can go back in there with that changeup. I think he's going to go back with the changeup, try to throw one below the zone. I think McCann wants him to. Curveball.
Got a piece.
That's what good hitters do, though. A lot of guys swing and miss at that pitch.
Yeah, or they're so far out front of it they roll over a grounder to second base. I mean, you see he's being fooled right there, but you see how the length he got just by pushing his arms out and pushing the bat
there it is.
Toward that ball. There was no intent of hitting that ball fair by Prince Fielder.
Change up.
And he lines it into right field, a base hit. Prince is 2 for 3. Between innings, we had a chance to visit with the Yankee manager, Joe Girardi. Well, Joe, Chris Capuano struggled the first couple of innings. Really looks like he's settling down now, though. What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, because we could use a little distance out of him. We really used our bullpen the last 2 days. We've given up 10 runs and 15 in the last 2 days. So we could use a little more distance.
What's it like when you see Brian McCann drive a ball to left center to drive in a couple of runs?
Well, you know, he's worked hard at that. He's worked hard at going the other way at times, and I mean, obviously, it's great. I mean, a lot of times that's where the shortstop's standing, and it worked out good for us.
Thanks for the time, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
So runner at first, one out. Meanwhile, Chasen Shreve is up in the Yankee pen for the second time tonight. Adrian Beltre is the batter. He's 0 for 2. And right down the middle for a strike.
Well, Beltre, first at bat, he was struck out by a lot of off-speed pitches by Capuano. Second at bat, first pitch, a fastball in. Looked like it took Beltre by surprise. Still got to be looking off speed. And right there again, Capuano throws the fastball down the middle and catches Beltre by surprise again.
When I played, this was one of the reasons why I love to watch baseball on TV. You can see things. If you watch Brian McCann, look at his eyes. He goes to first, goes to the hitter, goes to first.
But he's been looking down to third. Is he looking at Tony Beasley, the third base coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's looking at the coach. He's looking at the runner at first to see what they're doing. And then he's looking up at the hitter to make sure he's not peeking, so he can look at location. He's looking at the coach. He looks at the hitter to make sure he's not looking down. Looks at the runner, then gets set. He gets set very late. If you watch the umpire, how late he gets set, it's almost kind of a disadvantage for the umpire.
2-2.
It's a disadvantage for the umpire because the umpires like to get set to call a pitch, and he's having to move at the last second. Look at the coach. Look at the first base runner. Look at the coach again.
And a base hit into center for Beltre on actually what was a pretty good changeup there from Capuano, but Beltre went down and dug it out.
Well, that's going to the well a little too often, and like you said, he got him out with these changeups first couple at bats and went too many.
They were down. You said you noted both of those balls were up.
So that's all for Capuano. Rookie left-hander Chasen Shreve will come in here in the 5th inning in the Bronx. They've got 2 men on with 1 out here in the 5th. Joe Girardi has gone to his bullpen.
Well, this is fun. So you're watching a young pitcher warm up, and as a young pitcher, a lot of times if you don't face a hitter, you can tell what they like by watching them on deck. Crucky, I don't know, you don't swing badly on deck. You're taking your good swings. Hitters will tip where they like pitches. Kevin Youkilis used to swing at that ball up, and you could see that's where they wanted the ball because that was their natural swing path.
Shreve making his 14th appearance of the season, came over to the Yankees in an offseason deal with Atlanta. The deal that brought David Carpenter over from Atlanta. Manny Banuelos going the other way. He was recalled for the 2nd time this year on April the 21st. And he'll face a hot hitting Moreland, 1 for 2 tonight. Doubled his last time up. extending his hitting streak to 8 games. At second fielder, at first Beltre.
And with Chu, with Fielder, with Mitch Moreland, Yankees with 4 lefties in their bullpen. Got a feeling that Chu and Prince probably aren't going to see a righty in this game, unless it's Dylan Betances.
And that's no fun. Moreland has for time.
Can't imagine it would be.
Who, by the way, I think might be 9 feet tall.
Ooh.
See, I didn't. They're always big, but when you see them in the locker room, it's like, wow, 6'7", 6'8".
Another pitch in the dirt, blocked again by McCann.
I tell you, wow, that's a tough block right there for Brian McCann. That ball bounced about 7-8 feet in front of home plate. He got him in the left arm.
Two-0. Miss is down and away. Ball 3. And a strike, 3-1. Rangers got a run in the first. Yankees came right back with 2. Texas came right back with 2 in the top of the second. And nobody has scored since, but the Rangers threatening here in the top of the 5th.
Moreland has to be really selective.
Got a pitch to hit, but he skies it back of third. Headley in foul territory. 2 down. That's a big out for Shreve. Battling back from 3-0.
Yeah, 3-1. When you're 3-1, especially in a ballpark that's conducive to home runs to right field, you really have to get the perfect pitch to hit.
What are you looking for as a lefty right here?
Looking for a fastball.
Where?
Right there.
Okay.
And you can see it. He just pulled off and cut underneath. He was trying to lift that ball instead of just taking his normal swing, which is pretty conducive to hitting fly balls to right field. He tried to get a little extra underneath that one, 3-1, and just got underneath it, popped it up to Chase Headley.
So with 2 outs now, here's Elvis Andrus 0 for 2. Flied out and grounded out back to the mound. A great play made by Capuano on that play. Big swing and a foul off 0-1. Andrus talking to himself. He is just 8 for 47 this year with runners in scoring position.
Well, you're hitting 233. You're doing a lot more than talking to yourself.
He's also tipping his hand as a pitcher right now. I'm going back with a fastball in right here.
Fly ball to right field. Lots of room for Jones, and that's the inning as the Rangers leave 2 men on to the bottom of the 5th in the Bronx. Yankees coming up down 3-2. retired tonight by the Yankees. Nobody will ever wear 51 again. 5-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glover, and a lot of his buddies, Jeter, Rivera, Tino Martinez, David Cone, Paul O'Neill, Jorge Posada, Andy Pettitte, Joe Torre, all back to help honor Bernie Williams at the ceremony tonight. Now, the Yankees have already announced that Jorge Posada and Andy Pettitte will have their numbers retired later on this season. They haven't mentioned anything about Jeter yet, but it seems like a safe bet that at some point, probably next year.
Probably not reaching for that
right.
one, but okay.
They might wait another year or two, but he'll get the stage to himself at some point, and number 2 will be retired. And they're running out of room, and they're running out of numbers.
Well, Della Betances wears number 68 already.
That might be the starting point for the roster next year. Like, you know how spring training they give a kid number 77? That could be like 2016 version of 9.
Lou Gehrig's number retired. Yogi Berra and Bill Dickey both wore number 8. So the numbers from 1 to 10, once Jeter's is retired, that'll be it. Well, from 1, really no single-digit numbers unless you're counting 0. Nobody has retired as many numbers as the Yankees. It's not even close. So our production team came up with some possible ideas. All of these by season's end, when you count 20 for Posada and 46 for Pettitte. I mean, look at that. That's 20 unique retired numbers because 8 has been retired twice. So these are some of the suggestions for up-and-coming kids in the Yankee organization. I like the bingo idea myself.
Pie does something for me. I like pie.
Actually, I thought you had a great suggestion during the break.
I would go with the Fibonacci sequence, I think, just to mix it up.
I just wanted you to say that, just to see the look on Kruk's face when you said that.
You go from something hilarious, and we're, you know, playing into this whole, you know, the Yankees are going to run out of numbers thing, and then he throws that out there.
The Fibonacci.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys have the Snoop Cam tape for his reaction? Because we weren't on camera when he said Fibonacci. Can you show us the scowl, the grimace on it? It's like you were sucking on a lemon.
I've never heard of that. Like, what is that?
It's 4 syllables.
Oh.
It's all right. That's what I'm here for.
But that's the thing. You're giving the impression to people listening that you're actually smart.
But I'm not.
I know
I'm not.
that.
Well, the people that know me know
I'm not.
I'm not trying to be. People that know me know I'm not smart.
Fibonacci?
No, stop. Stop Liberace.
Something related to Liberace? I don't know what you're talking about.
You want to tell them what it is? Or
you can tell them what it is.
The sequence is each number is the sum of the previous 2.
Oh.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13.
Great.
All the way.
Yeah, perfect.
You'll be all right. You didn't need to know that to hit.
Strike 3, 2 down. All right, Kruk, you got to look at yourself here. Look, this is. That's great. that would. If you didn't know what was going on, you would have thought you had just suffered like a sharp abdominal pain or something.
Possibly having like an aneurysm.
I fell down the other day. Guy came out of the store. You need to call 911. I said, no, call a crane company to get my big rear end up. I couldn't get up.
You'll be all right.
Getting old, man.
It's kind of like the Brontosaurus going down in Jurassic Park.
Joe Girardi not happy with the strike zone right now. Having some words with
Gardner didn't like it either.
Yeah.
We are still paying attention to the game.
And he has had a pretty consistent and I thought a pretty good game so far tonight up until this little sequence.
Chase Headley, the batter, 1 for 2. Gallardo touched up for a couple of runs in the first inning and a 2-out, 2-run single by Brian McCann, and not a whole lot since. From the second inning through to now, one batter reached on an error, and he's given up 1 hit. And that batter was immediately erased on a double play. That doesn't feel so good for Headley.
You'd think someday someone's going to invent a shin guard that covers everything.
Yeah, they did.
Because that one missed it.
Well, they have one. It's in the NFL, right? Yeah, it's
like that thing comes almost up to his knees.
Well,
from his
and
toes
that's what
to
I'm
his
curious
knees.
about. I've seen guys do this. I don't know if you've ever done that, but how do you foul a ball off that high up on your leg? Like you've seen guys break their kneecaps doing it. How do you do that? What are you doing when you do that? You're not doing something right.
Obviously getting fooled out in front of it a hair.
And Gallardo strikes out the side here in the 5th inning. So it's 3-2 Texas over the Yankees at the end of 2. At the end of 5, rather. Crucky pained by certain things tonight. Tribute brought to you by USAA. Of course, tomorrow is Memorial Day, and we'll have a themed telecast for you tomorrow when we bring you the Yankees and the Royals at 1 o'clock Eastern time. I know Mr. Schilling is going to bring some unique items to the ballpark tomorrow. We got a lot of members of the military in the ballpark tonight, and I'm sure we'll have even more tomorrow. Also outside having some fun around the ballpark. Part of Fleet Week here in New York City. And I know, Shill, well, I know you'll jump on it tomorrow, but why don't you get a few words in tonight? I know you are a huge supporter of the armed forces.
Well, I grew up,
military.
yeah, I grew up in as an Army brat. My dad served in the 101st. I had a cousin who was a Delta, and Crucky, I know you and I have always been involved in different things. I've been over to the Middle East, Afghanistan, and Iraq a couple different times for tours. You know, the thing that I hope for is that tomorrow people remember that it's not necessarily a holiday.
Right.
It's a tribute to the lives that have been lost, given, so that we can do this, so that we can be who we are, say what we want, feel what we want, and be, in a sense, free. And it's you know, I thank God that this country still produces, and our allies produce amazing people who do things for people that can't do them for themselves.
Martin pops one up here to begin the bottom of the 5th, and way in left field is Gardner right behind Gregorius to make the catch, 1 down. Well, so a couple of games for you tomorrow on Memorial Day as mentioned, and then Tuesday night we've got a doubleheader on ESPN. It'll be the Nationals and the Cubs at 7 Eastern, and then the Braves and Dodgers at 10 Eastern. 1 week from tonight, we will be out in Anaheim as the Angels host the Tigers. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Nationals got a win today. Gio Gonzalez pitching well. Washington is now 26-18. They have turned it on, and they own a 2.5 game lead in the National League East over the Mets, who lost today.
The Mets are stumbling a tad.
They've now lost 3 in a row.
I think Matt Harvey had his one blip this year.
There's a bouncer to short, backhanded by Gregorius, and the throw in time to get Chirinos 2 down. That'll bring up Adam Rosales and his home run back in the 2nd inning, Crucky. Right now the difference in this game.
Yeah, and you know, he does have power. He's struggling this year offensively, but you know, he's a great guy to have. He can play anywhere. Like Jeff Bannister told us, he can play outfield, he can play anywhere in the infield. And you see it, though. He's a high-energy guy and a guy that, you know, if you're not going to be an everyday player, these are the type of guys you need coming off your bench. And, you know, so far, the deciding factor in this game.
You look at second base for the Rangers. Jurickson Profar, who could have played there, out again for the whole season with a shoulder problem. Rougned Odor, who had some very good moments as a rookie last year, sent down to the minors. They've got Tommy Field, who has played some at second base. Rosales gets some time against lefties. But really, it's not a position of great stability right now for the Texas Rangers.
You know, you look at the team they're playing. They don't have. I mean, Stephen Drew's a great defender, but offensively, he's struggling. Second base seems to be a tough position, and much so in need.
Even with this hot stretch right now, Texas has made up some ground on some of the teams in their division, but nobody's making up much ground on Houston. Houston won today, so they end up splitting a 4-game series with Detroit, two very good teams. Houston's 29-16. And they own a 6.5-game lead on the Angels for top spot in the American League West. That is easily the biggest divisional lead in baseball.
And that's the big question. How long can they sustain this? The way they're playing. You know, they have great young pitching. I mean, Dallas Keuchel, I think, he's
good.
He's really good.
But
really fun to watch pitch, too.
A lot like Tampa a couple years ago. Everybody kept waiting for them to disappear, and then you look up and it's post All-Star break, and they don't. I don't think. I think we're far enough in. I don't know that anybody's fluked their way here. I think the teams that are winning, you know, it's like we talked about. I don't know that the league is as strong overall, which is why there are more teams where we are right now looking at going, hey, we're legit.
You still have to think Seattle's going to make some sort of run at some point.
Bounce foul as Rosales stays alive.
The thing you worry about with Houston is their youth and the fact that they do strike out a lot, and they are dependent on the home run ball, and that how will they produce runs if they go into a home run drought? And
well,
that's what worries you.
In October, you face pitching that exploits holes and swings, and you don't see a number 4 or number 5.
Full count.
And they're talking about this Carlos Correa coming up soon, and
and that's, you know, another young player that you don't know. I mean, the talent's there. You don't understand that. The physical skills are there. And Jose Altuve's the best second baseman. Oh, he's good.
Close, but no, and Rosales will race down to first after the 2-out walk. Use #this all season long to share the amazing moments that only happen in Major League Baseball. Joe Girardi has made the move. Justin Wilson will be taking over for Jason Shreve with 2 outs in the 6th inning here in the Bronx, and the Rangers up 3-2. beating the Yankees 3-2. Don't forget the Western Conference Finals roll on. It's Game 4 tomorrow night at 9 Eastern Time with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors holding a commanding 3-0 lead on the Houston Rockets. Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern on ESPN. He is some kind of player, some kind of shooter.
I tell you what, the quickness off the dribble.
Yeah.
He and
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. They're catch and release. They're so quick.
They're fun to watch. Here's Justin Wilson, his 21st appearance of the season. The former Pittsburgh Pirate came over in an offseason deal for catcher Francisco Cervelli. So from a lefty starter to a lefty reliever to another lefty reliever for Joe Girardi tonight. We mentioned he's got 4 southpaws in his pen right now. And with Rosales at first and 2 down, back to the top of the order now for Delino DeShields. DeShields a ground out, a bunt single, and a fly out.
Here's a guy. Shin-Soo Choo probably hasn't seen much of Wilson, but look how far over he is in the on-deck circuit. And you see when Wilson starts to throw, he starts leaning, so you can try to see if there's movement on his pitches, his fastball running. What's his break? Look how far away he is from the on-deck circle. I mean, that could easily be a Joe Girardi say, hey, he needs to move over a little bit.
Runner goes. Check swing, throw down on a bounce, and they got him at second. Nice play there by Pirello to take the short hop and apply the tag on Rosales to end the inning. So after this throw, we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-4-5 coming up for the Yankees. 6th inning. Alex Rodriguez leads it off with the Yankees down 3-2. A-Rod has singled and scored and struck out. He'll be followed by Mark Teixeira and Brian McCann, the 3-4-5 part of the Yankee lineup. All the scoring in the game coming in the first couple of innings. Giovanni Gallardo has been terrific since the first inning. Outside, 2 balls and a strike on Rodriguez. Infielders and outfielders both playing him slightly to pull, and now Chirinos wants a visit. There's what he did in the first inning. Show what's he done better since.
That's what the sign of a guy that can be a good pitcher is settling in. That first inning could have been a lot worse than it was with the errors. He's settled in, and now he's got a lead. He's heading to the 6th. Pitch count's under control. He can get them deeper into the game.
Jams A-Rod. Weak ground ball to third. Easy play for Beltre.
We talked earlier about the plate and how you stay out of the middle to get out. So when you do that at 91, 92, that ball's not bad, but it's up too much. But look at those are the pitches that you have to make, and you got to make a lot of them in the big leagues to consistently be good. You got to move around the corners of the strike zone. Not as much exploiting a hitter's weakness as using your strength.
Mark Teixeira 0 for 2. Yankees have to be thrilled with what they've gotten out of Teixeira in the first quarter of the season. 13 homers and 31 RBIs already.
Yeah, normally a dreadfully slow starter. But he got hot early, and he just maintained that. As far as power and RBIs, average is sure not where he wants it to be, but well, you notice the shift. Look at all these ground balls at Mark Teixeira. The white ones are outs, the yellow ones are hits, and he does have the ability to hit the ball the other way. And you know, right now 3-1, he's not even thinking about it. But if it gets to 3-2, Gallardo doesn't want to give in. You might want to try to shoot one the other way. I mean, you see that he can do it.
Yeah, you don't want to go to 3-2 here. Because now, for me, Crucky, I've made him a better hit. Now he's looking to put the ball in play instead of drive a ball. He can hit a ball to left field here, single, but he can also hammer a ball, hit a home run here if he gets out in front of a strike.
Full count pitch coming. Lefty Sam Freeman now up in the Texas pen. A couple of left-handed batters due next for the Yankees.
Every pitch has been hard. You wonder if Gallardo, well, he didn't have to, did he?
Beltre backs up, makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Gallardo might go try to change up away, get him out in front, but he went looked like a cutter.
Yeah, it was. That was the first pitch of the game that he boxed.
So Gallardo continues to sail through this Yankee lineup and now face Brian McCann, who's the guy who did the damage against him back in the first inning with a 2-out 2-run single. RBIs number 24 and 25 on the season for McCann. So he's been productive. Just 237 with 4 homers with 25 RBIs at the quarter pole. Just passed it, actually. This is the 44th game of the season for the Yankees. But the Memorial Day weekend, kind of one of those times where I think fans and baseball executives alike kind of take stock of their team and see where they're at. But if you're the GM or manager of any team in the American League East, I don't know how you evaluate where your team is at right now.
Yeah, they're either all really good or they're all average.
Well,
I'm going all average.
Yeah.
But I think you look at that bigger roster picture. How many guys are you planning on getting back, and where are they? And you make plans not counting on them. If they show up, that's great. But this is going to be an interesting place for the deadline this year.
Yeah. And good news for the Orioles. I read on Matt Wieters that he might be coming back in June, early June, when he comes off the DL. When he's eligible to come off the DL. That's going to be great news for the Orioles, even though Caleb Joseph's been playing pretty good for him.
Chirinos just made a motion show to Gallardo like his shoulders flying open as he falls behind another
That's
hitter,
exactly what he's doing, and that's again part of what keep that front side in, which is he's overthrowing basically.
And a ground ball into the shift to end the inning. End of 6. Top of the order coming up for the Rangers. That means Prince Fielder hits third. They're up 3-2. Sunday Night Baseball. Texas trying to complete a sweep of the struggling Yankees. And they lead 3-2 with the top of the order coming up to Shields, Chu, and Fielder here in the 7th against Justin Wilson. You can hear barely a cheer of "Let's go Yankees" here. I mean, barely.
Yeah, they're out in the left field upper deck, I think.
DeShields drives one to center and deep. Young back. Young can't get there. And DeShields can fly around second, on his way to third, and in there with a leadoff triple.
You talk about an advantage that he has over most in this game. As soon as this ball was hit, you saw the back of Chris Young. You kind of figure, and look, he's not halfway there is when he started to turn it on. And once he turned it on, I mean, you threw a perfect cutoff, perfect relay, and it's not even close. But I mean, once you see this back of Chris Young, you thought to yourself, okay, he's not catching it. And once it got over his head, you knew it was a triple all the way.
Infield in for the Yankees. Bounced in and speared by McCann as Dellin Betances now gets up in the Yankee bullpen.
how desperately Joe Girardi wants to keep this a one-run game.
Well, they've lost 9 out of 10.
And that's why he wants to keep it a one-run game, and that's why Betances is up here in the 7th. Of course, he's up for Beltre.
Line into right center. Young giving chase. Won't get this one either. DeShields in to score. Chu at second with an RBI double. Texas leads 4-2. Time now for our expert analysis, brought to you by Benjamin Moore.
Well, the 3-4 guys in the Texas Rangers lineup, Prince Fielder, Adrian Beltre, they didn't get to be great hitters by being stupid. Look at Prince Fielder. He strikes out on the changeup. Next at bat, Capuano goes back to changeup, same location, base hit. Adrian Beltre, first at bat, he strikes out on the changeup. Second at bat, he gets up there at second and he hits a base hit on the same changeup, same location. You can't keep going to the well too often with these guys. You got to mix things up. You get into a pattern with them, they're going to hurt you.
Rangers now out hitting the Yankees 10-4, and Wilson bounces one in for a wild pitch, allowing Chu to advance, and that'll force the infield in again. And Larry Rothschild is going to make a trip to the mound. Wilson all over the place here.
Oh, this is where the game gets away from you right now. Got to kind of put the brakes on it. I thought I'd see McCann go out there and kind of try and do this, but you got to find something to make it the bleeding stop.
These are tough times for the Yankees right now. Infield in with this guy at the plate is no happy moment for an infielder, eh, Crucky?
Well, it can't be fun. At least the grass is dry. If it was wet, it'd be worse. But I mean, look where Perel was playing, though. They put a shift on Prince Fielder, but then when there's a guy on third, they still give him that hole between first and second. I know there's some number that says he hits the ball there more often than he does between the first baseman and second baseman, but you know, Headley's way off the line. Gregorius is kind of shaded up the middle, but so is Perella.
One and two.
Let's take a look at the ground balls Prince Fielder's hit in 2015. And I guess the majority of them go right there where Perel is playing.
I thought that was one of the things, Johnny, that Jeff Bannister made clear to us. He's going to play the percentages.
Especially with the lefty pitch, and he's more apt to go the other way.
Hit to deep right field and off the top of the wall. Chu in to score on a rocket of a single by Fielder, his third hit and second RBI of the night.
Well, when you're working ahead in the count, you can do some things with with your swing, and you can try one pitch. I'm going to try to take one out of here. But we talked about the violent swing. Look at that. I mean, it is. You talk about a happy, healthy Prince Fielder. It's what we anticipated. Like you said, hanging breaking ball by Wilson. I mean, you're lucky he didn't hit it high enough to go out. It was hit on a line, hit off the top of the fence, and came back into play and held him to a single.
It's a souvenir that bruised somebody.
Pitching change for the Yankees. Texas with two already here in the seventh. Betances coming in. Yankees down 5-2. in the 7th inning after yet another rocket off the bat of Prince Fielder.
Well, you talk about the massive power that this man has, but you look at his bottom half. I mean, you look at the torque on his legs. Watch how he recoils. Now watch his left foot come off the ground and come forward just to try to keep his balance. And you talk about hitting on balance. Well, he was on balance once contact was made. After contact's made, all bets are off. He's so much fun to watch when he's healthy.
63 hits, 32 RBIs. Let's go down to Buster for more.
And guys, when the Rangers got Prince Fielder, he, of course, was a first baseman. But earlier this year, he went into Jeff Bannister's office and said, look, I get it. Mitch Moreland is a better defensive first baseman than me. Play him at first base. And maybe that's helping him stay fresher. Think about these numbers right now. He's hitting .360 at his current pace. And this is a guy who plays every day. He'd be on track for 232 hits this season.
Fouled back by Beltre, 1-2.
Well, even as a DH, though, in that heat in Texas, once it gets summertime, even though he's DH, he's probably going to need some time here and there.
But again, there's a guy, 162 games. I mean, he wants to be out there every day, and it's not just for show.
High in the air to shallow left center. Gregorius backing up, and he'll make the catch to retire Beltre. Well, of course, Prince spent a lot of time as a kid around ballparks. His dad Cecil was a heck of a hitter in his day, and Prince's kids are getting a lot of time in the ballpark. That's Jaden, and Haven he's got the moss. So the young Fielder kids, they were having some fun at Yankee Stadium.
Just before that, Prince was actually out playing catch with them, and it wasn't like he was throwing little lollipops to them so they could catch him. He was putting something on them.
That is a sweet do right there. That's awesome.
Yep.
I've looked like that many a morning. When I had hair that grew, when I had that mullet thing.
Pretty good life of being the son of a ball player. Looks like a pretty good gig.
It's definitely got to be unique.
But you see it. We go back to that picture again. You see him the guy in the Yankees. Kid in the Yankees had in between them. See that?
Yeah, he looks confused.
Yeah, they're like, come on, man, what are you doing in our section?
Cleaning his shoes. The thing about it is, they're probably like 2 or 3 years old, being Prince's kids, so they're going to be like 6'8". He's such a good guy. Loves to play the game.
0-2, the count on Moreland.
That's one way to stop the bleeding right here, huh?
Betances has not given up an earned run this season. Batters are 0 for their last 23 against him. He hasn't pitched in a while. Yankees haven't been winning very much. He hasn't pitched since Tuesday. Off the end of the bat, shallow left field. Gardner coming on and makes the catch for the second out.
Betances hadn't struck anyone out yet. Must be trying to find it. He still hasn't given up an earned run.
He has not given up an earned run.
Wow.
Oh, it is only almost June.
And the only time that Miller got dinged at all was on an opposite field home run off the foul pole that Ryan Zimmerman hit off him. Otherwise, both of their big arms down to the end of the pen would be basically perfect.
Miller lose his job because of that?
Yeah. Elvis Andrus 0 for 3. A little soft liner caught by Pirella to win the inning. But the Rangers get a couple more. 7th inning stretch of the Bronx. Texas leads 5-2. another big night for Prince Fielder. What a weekend he is having here in New York City. 3 more hits, 2 RBIs tonight. And a big reason why Texas has a 5-2 lead going to the bottom of the 7th. The mystery has been solved. Buster, who is that in the middle?
That young man in the Yankees cap's name is Carson Charles Sabathia III. That is CC Sabathia's son. Of course, CC and Prince became good friends when they played together with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Good stuff. There's CC. Had a tough day yesterday at the office, that's for sure. After it looked like he had really been on his way to figuring it out and had been pitching better lately. Well, some of the stories around baseball, and there's an interesting one. Wanted to get the opinion of both of you guys. 2 pitchers this week. Will Smith of Milwaukee, Brian Matusz of Baltimore ejected. Smith's already been suspended. He's appealed. Presumably Matusz will be suspended for a foreign substance on their person. Here come the Giants. They've won 21 of their last 31. And then tough news is David Wright has suffered a setback. More back problems, has been shut down from all baseball activities. So it'll be a while till the Mets get their third baseman back. But let's talk about the Smith and the Matusz situation. And as Garrett Jones lines one to right field, it'll drop for a base hit in front of Chu, because we're letting Schill play show and tell.
Yeah.
He's brought some things in to show the class. Tell us what's going on.
Well, here's the 2 basic things that are available to you as a pitcher. When you get ready for a game, you've got the rosin bag, which is out on the mound, and you mix that with saliva to keep your hands sticky. Now, some guys will use pine tar on parts of their uniform. Again, same thing, just to keep your hands sticky. There's no cheating reason to do either one other than to keep the grip on the ball. But now we've got the third thing, which is causing issues, which is Bullfrog. It's suntan lotion. And what it does when you mix it with the other stuff is it creates a very sticky substance, and you can't see it. So guys will put it on their arms, put it on the back of their necks, put it in a place where they can just get it. And again, for the most part, it's to keep the stick, the ball sticky, because a lot of guys will grip no seams and throw a ball. And if you grip no seams and throw this, you're more likely to hit a mascot than you are the strike zone. For guys that throw 4-seamers, keep their fingers on the seams. Probably not as critical. Generally, I would like guys like Dave Steve, David Cohn, Smoltz had phenomenal sliders. They need to have a really tight grip on the ball to keep the ball in their hand and keep it tight. The problem is when you throw a split-fingered fastball, if you have sticky stuff between your fingers and you split those fingers on that ball pops out of your hand like a forkball, and it's a bad pitch.
So the rules say any foreign substance and you get ejected and suspended. But the way it really works is it seems to be that if you're discreet about it, even if people know what you're doing, as long as you're not too blatantly obvious about it, then nobody's going to blow the whistle on
it. Well, as long as you don't put like Bryce Harper eye black on your face with pine tar.
Or what Pineda did last year.
Right.
But even so, Milwaukee's playing Atlanta in the game in which Smith gets ejected and suspended. And Freddie Freeman of Atlanta, a hitter on the other team, even comes out and says, you know what, I'd rather guys use it because I feel a little bit safer. I know they're not going to lose one on a cold day and hit me in the head.
And tell them, Crocky, that's it. Why?
Well, because they can let one fly and it hits you in the head, and that's normally not a good feeling. But, I was talking to some of the Rangers hitters today, and they all said the same thing. Hey, they get a better grip on the ball and it gives them better command, more power to them. Because, the last thing you want is have that ball slip accidentally and get hit and possibly, injure you, put you on a DL, or some guys have had their careers ruined by it.
The issue with the rosin is that if you don't put it on right, once you go to the rosin to get it on your hand, and if you put it in your mouth to moisten, it completely evaporates any moisture in your mouth. You end up going to dry mouth. So you have to make it right. And that was always an incredible challenge for me. You had to have alcohol on the bench sometimes, because if it got too sticky, you had to wipe it off.
So what should the rule be, though? The rule currently states if you're caught with anything, you're suspended. But should baseball say, okay, we get it. On a cold day, pitchers need something. Even the hitters say pitchers need something. So let's all agree on what that something should be. Is that possible?
It's a $7-8 billion business. Let's create a substance that everybody agrees makes your hands sticky and that you can hold the baseball with and throw it with.
Yeah, if they can do that and it's one substance and it's universal. The problem you have is you say, okay, you can use something to get a better grip. You're going to see some things come out there that pitchers are going to say, well, this gives me a better grip.
Well, I know guys that use Vaseline and used to put it in their mouths. and
in their mouth,
in their mouths on their gum lines, and they would go with their tongue to get the Vaseline, and then lick their hands to get the Vaseline on their fingers.
We had a pitcher in San Diego that used to put some sort of mousse in his hair, and then before he'd come out to pitch, he'd wet the back of his hair, and it became like a really sticky substance, and that's the way he threw his slider better.
Now, what Will Smith said was, I had it on in the bullpen because it was cold. I forgot to take it off before I went into the game. And Will Smith was yelling at Freddie Gonzalez when he was ejected from the game, presumably to say something like, we all know guys on your side do this too.
Well, right. The other thing to make sure everybody understands, you don't get these balls white. The umpires rub them up before the game starts with a thing called Mississippi mud, which makes a darker tint on the ball.
2 down in the inning after the pop-up by Gregorius. This is Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Freddie Gonzalez is saying, I can see it glistening in the lights. That's why he pointed up at the lights right there. Will Smith not happy as he is ejected from the game. And then this is an extra innings down in Miami. There you see Mattis going to his right forearm. Dan Jennings, the new manager, sends the umpires out, and it's the rule. If you're caught with anything on your person, you are ejected and suspended. Smith got 8 games he's appealed. We haven't heard about a suspension for Mattis yet. But would you guys like to see, as you said, $7-8 billion industry in agreement? Here's the substance.
Yeah.
This is what you can have, but it's got to be a substance. Obviously, the intent is theoretically to grip the ball, but not to doctor the ball.
There has to be something the umpires can put on the ball. There has to be something. Now, I heard someone say something about the balls they use in Japan have a cover on them or some sort.
They're rough. They're like sandpaperish, which makes them easy. And they're bigger laces too, which makes them easier to grip. But you know, there's no reason you can't come up with a pine tar-like substance.
Stephen Drew pinch hitting for Jose Perella, and we've been talking so much about this substance issue. And we haven't set the new pitcher for it. Got a Texas reliever in, Keone Kela, with the right-hander was in to face Drew. Runner at first, 2 down, 5-2. Rangers lead the Yankees. And the pitch is outside, ball 2. Buster, your thoughts?
Well, guys, this rule was put in place initially because they didn't want pitchers defacing the ball. Almost a century ago, you had pitchers using tobacco, spit, all that, essentially altered the trajectory of the ball. That's not what's going on here. You wonder if they could agree on some sort of a substance and have the pitchers check with the umpires before they go to the mound. You know, what happened this week?
Beltre, a great effort diving into the seats, but can't make the play.
What happened this week with these two pitchers? These guys were like the guys who were driving 56 mile an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone, and now they're faced with having their license suspended because everybody knows it's going on everywhere. I had one pitcher estimate to me that 5 out of every 7 relievers on each team use something.
It just seems odd that it's only enforced if it's blatant.
Yes.
You know, so
if you have it and you're going, first of all, you have to be a little inconspicuous.
Right.
Like Mattis stepped behind the mound. Now, they do have a second base umpire.
Right.
And he stepped behind the mound and went right to the spot, where he has, at least touch your hat and touch your arm, act like you're wiping sweat off your arm or something. You can't just go right to the spot and make a big mark and, okay, now I got it.
Beltre over again, no play, and it's a full count. Beltre getting his cardio in this inning.
And this is what you get out of this guy, Dan. You know, look, first of all, he's reaching over the rail. You see that post right there. That easily could have ran his head into something there, but, a 5-2 game. The Yankees are struggling, and he's still out there trying to help his pitchers out and help his team, and that's leadership.
Runner will be on the move. 3-2 pitch swung on and grounded out to Andrus on to first. Drew retired and the inning is over. End of 7. Still Texas 5 and the Yankees 2. Brought to you by Taco Bell. It's time to vote for your All-Stars with the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot for the 2015 All-Star Game. Vote at MLB.com/vote. Catch all of the excitement of the 86th MLB All-Star Game on the 14th of July. Staying in the game in second, Stephen Drew. And the new pitcher for the Yankees from Morgantown, West Virginia. Just up the road from Cruckyville, David Carpenter. Former Atlanta Brave making his 18th appearance of the season. Leonis Martin leading it off for Texas. They're in on the corner should he bunt. And he takes low, ball one.
But Dave was telling me today, asked him how everything's going. He said, well, I'd like to have an outing finally where I don't give up a run. And so I'll join the crowd. Seems like everyone else is on your team except the two aforementioned.
Yankees have given up 30 runs in this series. 10 Friday, 15 yesterday, 5 so far tonight. They're being out-hit 11-5 tonight by the Rangers. And it won't get any easier for Joe Girardi's team. The Kansas City Royals probably already in town, and they'll have a day game tomorrow, Memorial Day, against the Yankees. A game we'll have for you at 1 Eastern here on ESPN. Jeremy Guthrie against Nathan Eovaldi.
We just going to spend the night here in the booth?
Yeah.
Thank you. Pete, what's Pete doing?
Quick turnaround. We're not going to ask you to take infield or do early BP or anything. It's stretch on your own, be ready to go.
Favorite day.
That was my daily plan anyway.
Really? You don't say.
And then go out and go like 2 for 3 with a walk.
Yeah.
Some people needed that early practice.
Not you.
I wonder what would happen if I did, though. Probably been tired.
Yeah.
Ripped into right field off the bat of Martin. On his way to second and in there with a leadoff double. That's the 6th extra base hit for the Rangers in this game. As mentioned tomorrow, a Memorial Day doubleheader for you. We'll start it off with the Royals and the Yankees, 1 o'clock Eastern time right here in the Bronx. And then Miguel Cabrera and the Detroit Tigers taking on Oakland at 4 Eastern. The game's available on ESPN and live on Watch ESPN as well. Baseball tonight on ESPN2 tomorrow night at 10 and again at midnight Eastern time. Here is Chirinos. Is the bunt in play here?
Yes.
And they'll have to take the out at first because Headley couldn't or didn't get back to the bag in time at third for McCann to throw down there. McCann wanted to throw down to third.
Wow, you watch Chase Headley on this play. He's going over right now to fix his divot. He kind of spiked himself. He was charging once he saw the bunt coming. Now watch his left foot right there. He starts to slip and he can't get back to the base in time for McCann to throw to him and get Leonis Martin. And
so that forces the infield in again. Runner at third, 1 out. The Rangers looking to add an insurance run here in the 8th inning. And the batter is Adam Rosales. Right at the knees for a strike. Rosales with a home run in the 2nd inning, a ground out in the 4th. And then walked and was thrown out trying to steal in the 6th.
I know it's a little thing, but you kind of get a feel for what kind of manager Jeff Bannister is. Watching these guys run out of the box, I have not seen anybody not busting it every single. Which, you know, I know that sounds like it should be always that way, but it's not. These guys are playing hard.
Suicide squeezes on. Rosales misses it, and they've got Martin in a rundown. That goes as a caught stealing, 2-5 on the putout.
tough pitch right there for Rosales to bunt and leaves Leonis Martin out to dry. Boy, there's no worse feeling in the world as a base runner coming down. And you see either miss bunt. It's even worse when they swing. Watch McCann come out of here. Looked like he hurt his right foot.
Was he calling foul tip?
So 2 outs in the inning, nobody on, and a 2-2 count now on Rosales. And McCann reaching down to that right foot again.
I know in last inning someone hit a base hit and he actually bent over and untied his shoe and retied it. So I don't know his spike. I don't know what's going on with that right foot, but
little looper into left, a base hit.
That wouldn't have brought him in. That's why it's called a suicide squeeze. You see Brian McCann still, something going on there. You see trainer coming out.
Achilles. Ankle.
Whatever it is. And he's pulling his toes back like his calf is cramped up, but
he'll play through it and back to the top of the order for DeShields, who's 2 for 4, a bunt, single, and a triple as he continues his hot hitting. One-0, and it's in for a strike. Rangers now with 13 hits in this game to just 5 for the Yankees. Rosales is a threat to run.
McCann got him once. Rosales trying to steal, but that was against the lefty. Likely get a better jump off the righty.
And a ground ball to short. The short way to force Rosales and end the inning. To the bottom of the 8th, the Yankees are down 5-2, but they will bring the top of the order up. Down 3 here to the Rangers. tweets by using hashtag #RepMyTeam. Every Sunday, be sure to send in a picture showing how you support your team, and your tweet could wind up on TV. Rangers lead the Yankees 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order for the Yankees, Gardner, Headley, and Alex Rodriguez. And the new pitcher for Texas is right-hander Ross Ohlendorf, who broke into the big leagues as a Yankee back in 2007. He's also been a Pirate, a Padre, and a National. His 4th appearance of the season. And keep an eye on the windup here, in case you haven't seen it.
Old school.
Old school.
Before they started keeping stats.
There we go. Throwback shill.
It's one word for it. Well, I mean, this is one of those things. I don't care, and I never cared what you did as a pitcher until you get right there. Right there, he looks a lot like everybody else.
Yeah.
This, to me, the only thing this does is allow you to make more mistakes.
Because there are more moving parts.
There's a lot of moving parts. It'd be like walking into the box as you swing, Cruggy. It's just, I don't know. But if he's comfortable doing it, that's the biggest thing.
It's just like a hitter with an open stance, a closed stance, hands low, hands high.
Ohlendorf picked up a save on Friday. Right now, Jeff Bannister has said it's a bullpen without roles. Neftali Feliz began the season as the closer, pitched poorly, now working in middle relief. And Bannister said it'll be matchups, the hot hand, which will determine who gets in there. So unlike most bullpens, when the phone rings, the guys have a pretty good idea who it's for. Theoretically, that's not the case, although it appears to be evolving into Ohlendorf in the 8th and then Sean Tollison in the 9th for Texas. But no labels have been assigned at this point. Fly ball to left.
Well, I was talking to Mike Maddox, pitching coach, of course, for the Texas Rangers, and I said, so it's true, right? No one knows what they're doing down there? And he goes, no. He said, isn't it fun? I said, I don't know for them if it would be.
No.
But they seem to, the way he talked, they all bought into it. And they said they love the fact that when the phone rings, most of the time, okay, well, this is for Betances in the 8th, this is for Miller in the 9th. With them, they, all 7 or 8 of them get up.
You're shaking your head.
No, I don't. Lightning has to strike twice for that to work. It might work in the short term, and it probably will work in the short term, but it's not something you can do, I don't think, for the long term by any stretch.
But is there a chance it is a short term thing, and maybe Bannister just didn't want to say to a guy who's never closed before, you're the closer, right, just kind of want to ease him in?
And you said it. You heard him talking about, like, well, yeah, now so-and-so, I'd kind of have him in doing this and that. And that's because as a manager you want that, because you have your card, and your card just says A, B, and C are available. D needs a day off, Yep. That's when you kind of, hey, listen, we need to patchwork this up today. But I had an experience almost the complete opposite when I was in Baltimore. And Johnny Oates took over for a couple days, and he took the entire bullpen into the room, and he said, hey, listen, for the next 72 hours, 5th, 6th, 7th inning phone rings, it's going to be you 3. 8th inning, it's going to be you 2. If I need a lefty out, it's you, and you're closing. And everybody walked out of the room thinking, okay, this is pretty awesome. Now, you got to win.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got to win. And he's not happy with the way things were going down there, so he's mixing and match. I love the approach. It's fresh, it's new, but it's going to be a challenge.
1-2 the count on Headley, who's 1 for 3 tonight.
I think the reason why it could work here is because besides Neftali Feliz, who has been a closer, there's no one down there that's making a ton of money.
Nope.
It's not like they have a $8-9 million bullpen guy. They have to say, okay, well,
and that's a
we
great
have
point.
to put him in there.
Absolutely, Craigie, because I think you have a lot of guys that are saying, hey, listen, I don't care what I do. I'm glad. I'm
Yes.
just glad to be here. And though, over time, that changes.
Yeah.
Those glad to be here guys go, wait a minute. What? I'm doing this.
Yeah. Then one guy goes in to negotiate and said, hey, wait, I was a closer for most of the season.
Yep.
I deserve closer money.
But you also, like I said, I think you see his influence as a manager on this team. I think they respect him.
They're buying in.
Yeah, they respect him, and they're going to follow him, and that's a big deal.
Let's go down to Buster.
And the roles could continue to shift because the Rangers are going to be getting back potentially a lot of pitching guys in the next couple months. Matt Harrison's working back from back problems. Derek Holland will be working his way back sometime around the All-Star break. They're hopeful that Martin Perez will be back from his elbow issues. So you could have a lot of help with that rotation and maybe some ripple effects.
Those are some pretty good arms if they can get some of them back. They won't get Darvish back, but hoping to get any or all of the other three back at some point this season.
I always looked at those as hey, if it happens, great, because so much, especially for me, on the other side with Tanaka, that's one of those, you want to count on something, but I just don't think you can do that.
Hey, a name we should have mentioned that we haven't yet. You talk about a guy stepping up because of all the injuries in the rotation. Nick Martinez is 4-0 with an ERA of 1.96 this year in 9 starts. He's been outstanding for them.
It's good if you like dominance.
And their rotation actually has the 5th best rotation ERA in the American League.
Made more impressive by the ballpark.
Yeah.
They pitch in a ballpark that plays very small, and as it gets warmer, it plays smaller.
Colby Lewis 4-2 with a 3.49 ERA.
How about everything he's been through in his career?
Here's the 2-2 again.
Yeah, there's still a couple guys holding out from those World Series teams, and Ron Washington actually signed
back in baseball.
Yep,
back with Oakland.
Yeah, good to see Wash back in the game, and they need some help fixing up their defense, and that's one of the things he really knows how to do. He's in charge of making their defense better. One of the great stories, wasn't it Eric Chavez, who, when he won one of his Gold Gloves, gave the award to Ron Washington as a thank you for him helping him out so much?
Pretty class act right there.
3-2. And a line drive single into center field for Headley. Here's Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod tonight 1 for 3. Singled and scored back in the first. Up high with a breaking ball, ball 1. Mike Maddox on the phone.
What's the challenge with Ohlendorf? That big windup, the old timey windup, but now pitching from the stretch. Is there?
Again, it's all how quick is he to home? If he's 1-1, I don't care what they do, as long as they get to that throwing position quickly and get the ball home less than 1-2. I don't know if it affects him or if it translates from the windup.
Sam Freeman up again.
Yeah, that's a round. That looks to me like a delivery you could run on. He's at the upper limits, right? 1.25, 1.3 to the plate. You got to have a real good thrower if you have a fast runner.
Been watching him between innings. He's a real good thrower. But 5-2, 8th inning, Headley's not going anywhere.
No. The only reason if he's a guy that doesn't hold runners well, or you get a big jump, because you'd like to stay out of the double play right here, but you don't want to give away an out trying to find it.
Yeah, especially with your 2 big guns coming up here behind him.
Alex looking breaking ball here, I'm bet.
This is where he could be get
fastball in.
Yep. Down and in a full count.
Now I'm saying fastball away. He's going to go fastball away here. Try and put something down. The only problem with that for me with a good hitter is he shoots that hole. That hole's so big.
Yeah.
Fastball away.
Better be down.
Yep. Ground ball to short. To second one, to first. Not in time. Just not a clean enough turn by the Rangers to turn two.
Had half a field to hit that ball to right, Crocky.
Well, Andrus gets to this ball quickly, and throw is up and away from Rosales, and once he had to catch it and make a 180 turn to try to get in position to throw out Alex Rodriguez, just not enough time for Rosales to do that. A better feed, maybe they had a chance, but once that throw was up, and kind of figured they wouldn't get Alex at first base.
So now Teixeira. And he'll take a strike. Teixeira's 0 for 3 tonight. 5-2 Texas, bottom of the 8th inning. The Rangers looking for a weekend sweep.
Oh, did he quick pitch him there? Because that
it
looked like Teixeira was fooled on whatever it was.
I really like watching him catch. He looks really active back there.
Orange nail polish is a good.
Yep. Slider down around his feet right here.
Check swing by Teixeira.
I'm thinking ball below the zone here just to keep him in to left, if at all, on the ground.
Two and fouled off.
And that look you see him give into the dugout, that's not to get pitch selection, that's to get potential pitch out, throw overs, which somebody on the bench, usually they'll give multiple guys will give signs over there. And I think he's telling him to play off and play behind. This is why you'd like to stay away from a 3-2 count. You don't want this runner being able to take off before the pitch gets made. Slider. Nope, didn't want it. Fastball away. Oh, back door. Good pitch, too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So now a full count, and now A-Rod will be on the move.
3-run lead. Last thing you want to do is walk him.
Yeah, and make him hit the ball. Change it? No.
I'd go fastball in.
Nah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'd go fastball away here.
I mean, he threw the 2 strike pitch.
Going
threw by him.
Missed up and in, and he does walk him, and the tying run will come to the plate, but I don't think he's going to face Ohlendorf. There's the call. The left-hander Freeman will come in to face the left-hand hitting Brian McCann, with the Yankees bringing the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 out, pitching change here in the Bronx. Follow your favorite team and players all season with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat now. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and more every night on every device. Visit MLB.TV for details. So here's the situation. Tying run at the plate for the Yankees. Left-hander Sam Freeman is on. Was called up from AAA Round Rock on May the 13th. Has made 4 appearances since. He's been brought in to face the left-hand hitting Brian McCann, who's 1 for 3, drove in both Yankee runs with a single way back in the first. Up and in, ball 1. Sean Tollison is now up in the Rangers pen, again in a pen in which there are no assigned roles, or at least no assigned labels. Tollison has picked up a couple of saves recently, and he may be needed here this inning. Breaking ball sweeps outside, ball 2.
Freeman has a good fastball, but if he's going to throw it, he better get it in a good spot, because I know McCann's looking to try to tie this thing up in that short porch in right field. Wow.
The conversation went something like, okay, that's the farthest out it's going to be, right? Yeah. Let's go farther out.
In the air to center, but he got under it. And the Yankees will leave a couple of men on here in the bottom of the 8th. Still Texas 5, Yankees 2, 2, 3, and 4. That means Prince is coming up again when we come back. Yankees 2, time now for our high strength performance, brought to you by Chevy Silverado. And it has been Prince Fielder's weekend. Friday, Michael Pineda pitching, 2 out, 2 on, and he launches a 3-run homer to right. Then in the 7th inning, off lefty Jason Shreve, Fielder goes deep again. Yesterday in the 7th inning, another home run for Prince Fielder, and tonight they've kept him in the park, barely. 3 for 4 with a double and 2 singles. He thought that one might have gone out. Here's Prince's weekend. 8 for 13, 3 homers and 9 RBIs.
It's not a bad weekend. Well, you know, and this is all a product of being healthy and being happy. And, you know, you could just see it. He's playing the game like he did 3 or 4 years ago when he was having a good time and enjoying it.
Changes for the Yankees. You can see Andrew Miller is on the mound. And John Ryan Murphy is now in to catch for the Yankees. So whatever was bothering McCann, Joe Girardi left him in to hit, but has now taken him out defensively for the top of the ninth. Right ankle, right calf, right foot, something on his lower right leg bothering McCann. The batter is Shin-Soo Choo, facing Andrew Miller. About as unhittable as Dellin Betances is, although he does have an actual ERA. Ryan Zimmerman took him deep with an opposite field game-winning home run last week. Miller on the season in 18 1/3 innings. Get a load of this, Crookie. 18 1/3 innings. He's given up 4 hits, and he has struck out 31. No fun, I would think.
I don't think
for a left-handed batter.
No.
I don't know that he's fun for either.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I'd much rather be on the right side.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the guy you wish, you kick yourself for not becoming a switch hitter if you were a left only. D. You see?
Well, I mean, that ball's coming from, what, foot and a half behind you? 2 feet behind you?
Starting out that way.
Got him. So strikeout of Choo, and now this will be fun. Miller against Fielder. Fielder 4 for 12 with a couple of strikeouts in his career against Miller. Prince 3 for 4 tonight.
The hot hitters there is in baseball against one of the most dominant lefties you have in baseball.
And a slider for a strike.
He's hunting that first fastball, I think. Middle in.
Well, he's smart, because if Miller puts the slider where he wants, you ain't going to hit it anyway.
Right.
He may not get a fastball.
He'll get one.
He'll get one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pitcher's way too much pride.
Why try to trick him when I can throw it by him?
Yeah. Well.
Slider for a strike, 1 and 2.
Now he gets it.
He can throw it. He can do like he did to Choo. Throw a slider in and
144
and then
miles an hour.
go away.
Nope.
Try to get him to
Slider.
swing through it.
Slider off.
Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Miller.
What that does, though, right there, that at bat, you're looking at 4 straight sliders, and I guarantee you Prince was thinking he was going to get a fastball. But what this does is this sets them up. This sets Andrew Miller up for later in the year, because now Prince can't discount the slider.
But you're talking about a fastball.
Right.
A guy can locate his fastball 4 different quadrants, so it's 4 different pitches.
Yep.
He just threw 4 different locations with a slider.
Yep.
He threw the get me over.
He got him out
0-1.
without showing him a fastball.
Yeah.
So the next time Prince faces him, he has to have slider in his head. Not that that'll change anything.
But you know how most pitchers are. They can only throw their slider in one
Right,
spot.
right.
They're trying to throw it down away from a lefty. He threw four different locations on his slider to strike Prince out.
Back door, front door. And now he's got the 98 in his pocket for the next time he sees him.
Yeah, that's can't be much fun.
Well, you faced a few of those in your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a challenge, I think, for lefties, because he never got out of himself. He had a swing, and he was a good contact guy.
Well, there's a lot of guys that
gave you trouble.
John Candelaria.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
you
but
still
he
see
gave
him in your nightmares.
Everybody trouble from the left side.
Yeah, I was just talking to Lee Mazzilli. He was having dinner in there, and that's what he said. He said, I don't know how any lefty ever hit Candelaria.
You know, the interesting thing about Miller, too, is he's on the extreme third base edge of the
So
rubber. If he moved over to the first base side, it would be even worse for a left-handed batter, I would think. I mean, he's on the third base side of the rubber, and it still looks like it's coming from
But
behind
that's
you.
why
if you're
you
a
do
lefty.
that, because you're so tall and your arm angle. Look at his arm angle.
Nice catch out and right by Jones. 3 up, 3 down go the Rangers. Couple of strikeouts, and then a diving catch and right take us to the bottom of the ninth. The Yankees are coming up trailing 5-2. By Taco Bell. Defect to the next generation of breakfast. Wake up, live Moss. And in part by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. To the bottom of the ninth here in the Bronx. The Yankees in jeopardy of losing their 6th in a row and 10th in the last 11. And a lot of fans apparently not thinking they've got much of a chance here as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Yankees down 5-2. Texas looking to sweep the series and extend their winning streak to 5. The Rangers are in Cleveland tomorrow afternoon. The Yankees are home to Kansas City tomorrow afternoon. A game we'll have for you on Memorial Day, 1 o'clock Eastern time here on ESPN. Sean Tollison into the game now in the 9th inning for Texas. Has picked up a couple of saves recently after he replaced Neftali Feliz, although again it's not official, no labels, bullpen with no roles and so on. But Tollison getting the 9th inning opportunities when available in the last week or so. Broke in with the Dodgers back in 2012. This is his 2nd year with Texas as he blows a fastball by Garrett Jones. Yovani Gallardo, 6 good innings tonight. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 6. Kela, Ollendorf, Freeman, and now Tollison out of the pen.
And I think an even better start considering how the game began for him.
Prince Fielder, the hitting star for the Rangers, 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And Adam Rosales hit a 2-run homer. Fouled off 1 and 2.
This is where the game's a little bit different now than it was years ago. You know, you're down 3 runs, you have a reliever come in. Usually you tell the hitter, you're taking till you get a strike. And first pitch, Garrett Jones swings, fouls it off. Kind of a little difference in philosophies. I kind of like this one better.
Chirinos out from behind the plate, down to first in time to complete the strikeout.
So watch this last pitch. Again, watch the catcher. You talk to your pitchers, and the pitchers talk to your catchers without saying anything. Watch where the glove goes. This is where he wants the ball to end up. Down in the dirt. That is a perfectly executed pitch, literally. I mean, location-wise, everything. That's what he asked for, and that's what he got. That's one of the reasons this guy's pitching the 9th inning, too.
The batter is Chris Young, 0 for 3 tonight, and now 2 for his last 29. If the Yankees lose this game, as mentioned, it'll be 10 losses in 11 games and 6 in a row. The last time they lost 6 in a row in the same season was in 2011.
This is kind of, for me, the fun part of this, Dan. Watch the catcher on the last pitch. Watch the glove. He doesn't go down to the ground. He just kind of gives it to him right above the green. Wants it down and out in the bottom half of the strike zone. Great pitch. Those are great misses, too.
That's pretty good velocity on that fastball.
I'm going to guess it's like Papelbon sneaking at him.
Yeah, it looks like he throws it from down low, and it just kind of shoots out of his hand. I mean, it's 94. It looks like it's 100.
That's literally a perfect pitch. I think the challenge for a lot of young people, they don't realize you can keep throwing that same pitch over and over again if you have a ball, if you've thrown a ball in.
You gonna bounce this one again?
Yes, he did. 2 down.
Well, the box score might not read big for him tonight, but behind the plate, I think this kid has done just an amazing job. Look at the target. And that's the thing is, sometimes the catcher holds his glove. Hey, I want you to start it here. And sometimes he holds it where, this is where I want you to finish it. And without saying anything, the pitcher knows that.
So the Yankees down to their final out. D.D. Gregorius is the batter. 0 for 3 tonight. Texas winning 10-9 on Friday, 15-4 yesterday, and up 5-2 here in the bottom of the ninth, looking to sweep.
This kid, this is the one.
That's
I think.
Changeup. That's
Yeah.
He's a 3-pitch closer.
I think this ends up being the guy with the ninth inning. Just outstanding tonight. He's just outstanding command. I think he hit that ball off the end of the bat card.
Hit it off the cup end. Probably splintered the cup. The cupped out part of the bat.
Bounces breaking ball.
Change up again,
That's
down
a
and
nice
away.
pitch. I'll tell you, that's one of the things, Dan, that separates this kid right here from a lot of people. I say kid, but command of the changeup, not just down and up, but side to side. It's hard to do.
Oh, and that's your ball game. Tolleson strikes out the side in the ninth inning, and Texas has swept the Yankees. The Rangers get within 2 of 500. They've won 5 in a row. The Yankees drop to the 500 mark at 22-22. They have lost 10 of their last 11. Got the Royals and Yankees for you tomorrow, Memorial Day, 1 Eastern time, here on ESPN. For John Kruk, Kurt Schilling, and Buster Olney, I'm Dan Schulman saying so long for the Bronx as we send it to Sports Center with John Anderson and Steve Levy.